So we've got a couple new faces, which is awesome. That's what the one-shots are meant for. We have returning, of course, Lastiel playing the role of Andreas Williams. We've got my lovely wife, Kaylee, returning because she's married to me and she doesn't have a choice. She has to play in all my campaigns, playing Vida Norwood. We have Math returning, who is playing William Rutherford, although we'll meet him a little bit later because he's driving his way home. We've got the illustrious record keeper Yendar, responsible for all the amazing YouTube videos, playing Nathaniel. And we've got a returning member from the Saturday campaign, Nico, also known as Korgak, playing Jacqueline. And I think we're going to all do a really good job of doing a bad job, and I think it's going to be fun.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Hype.
And I need to turn myself down a little bit because I'm peeking the red area on my OBS. Okay. So I will start with welcoming folks to our tabletop RPG stream called Monsters Ain't Real, where we use the Monster of the Week rule set to enjoy some good old-fashioned RPG fun set in a horror dystopia universe. To anyone new, all the old episodes are up on the YouTubes, although that doesn't matter much for this session because it's almost entirely new with a few familiar faces. One thing I will warn is that the start of this campaign is extremely narratively heavy. There is a massive amount of content to create, a world to build, a picture to paint. And so I apologize, especially to the players, if this seems boring. You guys might not be doing much talking or dice rolling at the very start. So just try to sit back and enjoy and kind of let this roll over you. One thing I will say to all the people who know Mar is that this episode is not taking place in the white ink. Everything from the main campaign and all previous one-shots have been taking place in the white ink. This session is taking place in the red ink. So now is the point when I would usually do a recap, and there is no real recap. Instead, I'm just going to go over some world details. I'm going to paint a bit of a picture of what this planet in the red ink is like. So the world in this session is a dark one. It consists of a planet covered in dark forest, shattered mountain peaks, vast bogs and mires, and a pervasive mist that hangs over it. Scattered throughout this oppressive landscape are cities, modern cities, towering skyscrapers, enormous factories spewing thousands of tons of pollution into the air, twisting roads and gridlocked traffic. There are only a few roads leaving the main city, 3 or 4 roads from any one city connecting it to the next city a few thousand miles away. There are no planes and no trains. Everyone works, either mashing away at Excel sheets, assembling items on assembly lines, or various service industry jobs. Everyone is working on war, in one form or another. There is no active war, no bombs dropping, no missiles flying, no soldiers shooting, but the threat of war is ever present. Everyone fears war is just around the corner, so they stockpile and build and prepare, which heightens the fear in every other city. This vicious cycle of fear, paranoia, and hatred fuels the entire planet. Every city has something called the Line, which is a large red line painted on the outside of city limits. Going beyond the line is strictly forbidden, as your safety is no longer guaranteed. The forests and bogs are filled with horrifying abominations and monsters. The abominations and monsters were once people. but the people transformed and became these feral monstrosities. But for the group of you, things are a little different. The planet is inhabited by people in the cities or monsters beyond the line, but you know the truth. There's a small council that helps people. When people are about to transform and become monstrous, a lucky few are found and brought to the council, where they transform in a controlled fashion, and they become something known as the Ascended. The Ascended are monsters who can freely transform back into humans, and are generally granted the highest stations in the world: political leaders, corporation presidents and CEOs, investment banker owners, and such. They have an easy life, where they prosper from the suffering of the rest. You, the players, are Ascended. And now that we know a little bit more about the setting of our story, let's dive into the story itself, starting with the narrative camera. And for this, I need some music, which is that. And then I need to turn this to that. All right, and now we're going to hit a little bit of the narrative camera and kind of get a flavor for what we're about to dive into. The camera opens high in the sky at night, looking down. We see a city. The city that our players live in. The city of Rievenkus. Dark gray metallic skyscrapers reach 100 stories or more into the sky. All of the lights are on in them. All of the lights are a dull orange. As the camera descends from the sky, we pass by the windows. Hundreds, thousands of windows, all with people sitting in cramped cubicles, bashing away at keyboards, bathed in this dull orange glow. As we get closer and closer to the ground, we hear horns honking, people shouting, and the various sounds of crowded streets stuck in gridlock. Closer we descend, until we can see the tops of factories. Vast industrial factories cranking out formed metals such as gear and plates. Others producing modular electronics and small devices. All of these factories are dumping tons of pollution into the air in the form of thick black smoke, and some are offloading liquid waste into bodies of water through massive pipes. Down and down to the ground level, we see plainclothed people carrying briefcases walking down the streets. All of their attire seem to be generally similar. Some of the people are looking at the ground, trying to disappear. Others are obviously bumping into anyone that gets in their way. People lean out of their car windows and shout at the cars in front of them. Some people shout back, others shrink in their seats. The camera descends again, through the asphalt, through the soil, down through the bedrock, miles below the surface. And we see a massive open chamber. A thin red carpet crosses the center of the chamber with a dim light. To the left and right of the carpet is nothing but darkness, but we can hear awful sounds coming from the darkness. Horrifying sounds of bending wood, small feet pitter-pattering around, wispy wailing and moaning, and one uncomfortably kind voice requesting our presence in the darkness. We follow the carpet, descending but traveling along it to a door, a single black iron door with heavy rivets and a knocker, lit with a bright white light above it. We pass through the door into a large room with a rectangular table in the center. At the other side of the table sit 3 figures. All 3 are hunched and hooded individuals with their faces hidden. All 3 have long, thin arms propped up with their elbows on the table. They all have wide hands and long, thin fingers steepled in front of their hoods. This is the Tribune. This is Mitra, Vetha, and Volos. And they are waiting for you. Oh, I need a different ambient music. It's supposed to be Lightless Dawn. Okay, there we go. So, for those of you who know Maridal, there are 3 Voloses.
No.
And their names are Mitra, Vetha, and Volos.
Bad news.
It's pretty bad news. It's pretty bad news. But hey, your players don't know anything. Your characters don't know anything. As far as you know, this is totally normal. So now that we've kind of set the scene with the world building and with the narrative camera, we're going to go through some intro scenes with all the different characters. This is going to give us a chance to meet the different characters that everyone's playing and help flesh out the world a little bit. Our first stop is at a home security programming company called DragonNet. We are inside the office of the CEO, Andreas Williams. He is currently in discussion with his lead programmer named Greg. Lastiel, why don't you describe your character, Andreas Williams, to us?
Oh, it's very clear that Andreas likes the finer things. Not overly so, but definitely if they're on his person. His suit is made of very, very high quality silk. Very dark colors, red highlights where they bring out a certain je ne sais quoi, so to speak. He has his vices, mostly alcohol, but he seems quiet. Like, you wouldn't think a CEO would get to this station without having to say something. But it's just all part of the game. Some play it in the shadows, some play it with a gun. He chooses the shadows.
I love that. And I think you're in your office, and how does Andreas kind of keep his office? What does the office look like? Is it kind of Spartan, or does he keep a lot of data visible? Like what's kind of the decor a little bit of his, not specifics, but just general aesthetic of Andreas Williams' office?
It's very functionally Spartan, I guess is the best way to put it. It's showy in the sense of it looks like a CEO's office. Marble desktops, marble embedded in the wall, very fine wood highlights in the office, leather chair. But he has a job to do. It's clear that he enjoys what he does. So he has a single computer, just so that he can see what his subordinates are doing.
Yes.
But it's a fairly clean, to the point room.
Perfect. Well, you're talking to your lead programmer, Greg, who you get the feeling that he wouldn't normally be as kind of well kempt as he is. Like, he knew that he had to talk to you today, so he probably shaved this morning and maybe nicked himself. He's got one of those little pieces of tissue paper stuck in his neck kind of thing. His hair is kind of combed over, but it's not all that. It's obviously he doesn't do this regularly. The clothes are probably a little bit too big in some places and a little bit too small in other places. Like, it's been so long since he had to wear nice clothes that they don't all fit properly anymore, because he has requested an audience with you, and you're sitting in your office and there's a knock at the door.
Who is it?
Oh, hey, boss. It's Greg. I was wondering if maybe we could meet for a minute.
Yeah. Come in. I've been expecting you.
Oh, yes, thank you.
You want any coffee?
Oh,
Hair of the dog.
coffee maybe, if you're having whatever you're having would be great. Boss, that would be, yeah, or nothing. I'm also good with nothing.
Diane, can you get my guest a Irish coffee?
Yes, absolutely. One moment. Yes. And
All right. What did you need, Greg?
okay, so I was just oh, thank you. Oh, that's good. That's very good. Thank you. So I was working on the project that you assigned me. And I'm just, the code kind of, well, I mean, it doesn't really make sense to me for, like, it's, I don't see how this has anything to do with security, boss. I'm just wondering if maybe you gave me the wrong project, or maybe I'm working on, maybe I should be working on something else. The code just doesn't really make sense to me. It was just maybe a clarification, a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I definitely want you to be as effective as possible. Long story short, no one can leave the city, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah. No, of course. No. Anything beyond the line is dangerous, and if we go to another city, we'll probably just get killed. So no leaving the city, of course. I know that. Everybody knows that.
So how long do you think a company will survive when we only have one audience, one city?
Well, I guess people have babies.
All right. Anyway, the code you're working is correct. Basically, we're trying to compete for more lucrative contracts, primarily in the defensive sector, if you get my drift.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it seemed like the
military contracts, which means their need to know.
Oh. Okay, well, I got it. Should I mean, I had Jarvis help me with some of the code. I didn't realize that maybe he shouldn't see it. So I had Jarvis help me with a bunch of code the other day, and he's pretty plugged in with how this is going. Just figured maybe I should tell you that. This seems pretty important.
Yeah. I think at that moment he stands up, just kind of like a little intimidating. He's just like, you brought someone on without letting me know.
I thought maybe it wasn't. It was just he's so good with.
Stop stumbling over your words and answer the question.
He's really good at the organizational data coupling, and I wanted his help with that.
All you had to do was ask if he's competent, and we can get this done faster. Sure, we'll bring him on then.
Okay, that's all.
You do that again, I don't think you want to find out what happens, though.
No, of course. No, I would. Absolutely. You got it, boss. I'll make sure to. Thank you. We'll get this done.
Well, hold on. I guess that makes you a project leader then, huh?
Well, technically, I guess I am leading someone in a project.
He throws him like half a stack of cash and he's like, get you some better clothes. Get a good meal, and I need you at your top performance on this one.
Yes, of course, Mr. Williams, of course, absolutely. You can count on me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. And he kind of, bow, curtsy, nods at like just a big fumble of a gesture. And as he does that, you feel a pulse in your mind, and you've felt this maybe once or twice ever, and you know that it is the council. And at that point, your phone rings. Would you like to answer your phone?
Andreas here.
Oh, Andreas. It's so good to hear from you again. This is the council.
I understand.
The time has come to pay the favor that you owe for your sanity.
Just tell me where you need me.
It's at the same building you went to for your ascension.
I'll be there as soon as I can.
Excellent. Toodles.
Love you.
I love you.
And I think that's kind of where that scene fades out, is with Andreas Williams getting a call from the council. Next, we find ourselves in a different location. We find ourselves at a construction site inside the planning office. There is loud banging of tools and roaring of machinery outside as a new housing development is being built. The property development mogul of cozy living, Miss Vida Norwood, is here checking on the progress and discussing matters with the lead contractor, Valentin. Kaylee, why don't you give us a little bit of a description of what Vida Norwood looks like?
Vida, everything about Vida is sharp. From the angles of her suit to the cut of her power bob to the, jawline jutting itself into the conversation. Vida is sharp. She's so she's an architect. She works as this property development mogul now, but she started as a designer. And she really got her claim to fame by doing this really interesting stuff with empty space. To the point where she, so she just, there's lots of interesting use of vaulted ceilings and things like that. But when she got on with the council, she also creates empty space that only the Ascended know about. So in her buildings, you'll find, secret floors between floors that you press by entering a sequence of buttons, that you get to by entering a sequence of buttons on the elevator. Or, all the air vents are very roomy for sneaking if needed. So good with empty space, Arvida.
That's perfect, because you're talking to Valentin right now, who's your lead contractor, and you're kind of discussing one of these empty spaces right now. Valentin comes up to you in the planning office, and he says, "Good day, Miss Norwood. I have a question about the blueprint."
Yeah, Valentin, what is it?
There seems to be problem. There is small gap between floor 13 and 14. Is this mistake?
Valentin, how long have we worked together?
It must be 5 years now.
How many projects? Countless projects in that time. Are you saying this doesn't ring a bell?
It just looks like... Do you want us to build it? Do you want us to build a whole floor? Or was this folded paper and maybe we make no floor?
You gotta build, it's like the one we did at the development on Magnolia?
Yes, we made whole floor.
Yeah, so it's that again.
Okay, so we build whole floor.
The whole floor, but
Yes.
sneakily.
All right.
Use only your best, most trustworthy workers.
All right, do we call it floor 13 or floor 4? Technically, this would be floor 14. We call it,
No.
we make floor 14 for you.
No, the next one is floor 14, Valentin. You can see it right there. It's labeled.
The label is wrong. It must be, that would be floor 15. This is
No,
floor 14.
Valentin, you got to work with me on this. You know, on Magnolia, we called it floor X. Always our extra floors are floor X. So keep on keeping on floor X.
All right. I call it floor 14X.
No, Valentin.
I call it floor X14.
No. Well, closer.
I not build it at all.
Valentin,
Maybe we just skip that floor.
you know, I've heard great things about your competitor, Valentune.
Valentine is a hack. He makes terrible buildings. They fall down all the time.
But real good at taking direction.
All right. Then I make the floor for you.
You, Valentin, floor X, if you recall.
Yes, I will make floor X, but I call floor 14 in my head.
Well, I guess I can't stop you from doing that, but don't do it in front of me.
All right. I make floor X.
Passable.
And I think as he kind of like rolls up the blueprint and starts to walk out of the room, you feel that pulse in your head. And you know that to be the same pulse that you get whenever the council calls. It's not often. You don't usually get calls from the council, but it's happened enough times that you do know what it is, and your phone starts ringing.
Not now. And she answers it.
Greetings, Miss Norwood.
Well, hello. Have I got the council on the line? I think that's your number. You hear that you have a listed number. You'd think it would come up as blocks or...
Well, we don't call many people. It's okay when the people who we call know who we are.
Well, I know who you are.
This is a call to fulfill the favor that you owe the council.
Oh, right.
You must come to the same location where you ascended. The council will give you details about the favor when you arrive.
I'm definitely gonna do that, and I'm gonna get there. But we're in this really critical moment in the development of this building, and if I leave them alone, I don't think that they're gonna make it.
There can be no excuses, Miss Norwood. You will come now.
I'll be there.
And that second half of the conversation took place very much in your mind. The phone basically went dead when you started giving excuses, and the voice of the council boomed in your head. And I think that's where that scene kind of ends. And the next scene, we're inside a factory. Lines of workers are assembling ATM-like machines. This is Omnitech banking technology, and currently the CEO, Nathaniel, is having a discussion with the top technicians, Janet and Richard. Yendar, why don't you give us a little bit of a description of what Nathaniel looks like?
Nathaniel's sitting in his office, very bored, staring and glaring at his technicians, and he just looks like an everyday, mid-20s young man. He's just casually dressed in a t-shirt, jeans, sneakers, and is just terribly bored with the situation.
I love that. And so I think Janet and Richard are standing kind of sheepishly in a line outside your office. Is the door open or is the door closed?
The door is open. I am legitimately waiting for them to just come in and get it over with.
Yes, I love that. The door is open and Janet's kind of first in line, and she's standing on the opposite side of the threshold, kind of hands at her waist. She's got a piece of paper. She's looking at the ground, and she's kind of she's waiting to be invited in, but she also knows that you're not about to invite someone in. But
Yes.
to presume that she can just enter also terrifies her. And so she's just kind of like standing there frozen with indecision about which is the bigger mistake, to come in or to wait for you to invite. And so I think at one point she kind of like slides 1 foot over the threshold so that she's technically in the room. And she's not making eye contact.
I just roll my eyes and yell at them to get their ass inside the office.
They both kind of like jump when you yell. They both kind of like, they're startled. They kind of jump, and Janet kind of rushes into the room, and Richard rushes in after her, kind of hiding behind her, even though he's definitely taller than her. And Janet kind of looks up a bit, and she's like, Mr. Nathaniel, hi, good day. How's your day?
Hello, Janet.
Hi.
Have you done that thing I told you to do properly?
Well, okay. I mean, yes and no. Okay, here's the thing, is that it was really complicated, right? And I can do that. I can totally do that. But it's like, it didn't need to be that I've got this drawing here of how maybe we can make the ATMs less hard to build. They're really hard to build, Mr. Nathaniel. They're really hard to build, and I think it would go way faster if look at this. It's like a swinging arm in there. We don't need a swinging arm in an ATM. Why don't we make it without that? No.
Yes, we do.
What? I just think I don't.
Did you also make sure that that loading mechanism is properly aligned with the...
Well, I feel like it was kind of, ATMs don't need that.
Yes, they do.
I kind of didn't put, well, I figured, I think it'll still work without it in, I didn't put it in there. I thought maybe it would be lighter. We can save on shipping costs. And I told...
You didn't put it in there.
What
do I pay you for?
I mean, hopefully to do things good. I mean, fast, cheap and fast, and also good, right? Those
Janet,
Yeah.
honey,
yeah.
you know what we pride ourselves with over here at Omnitech?
Of
Reliable hardware that
Yeah.
is smart and clever and anticipates the people's needs.
yeah, but it's so heavy.
That is the point. Something heavy can also be stolen and has other practical uses.
Oh, I may have told the other assembly line people to also not put those in. So we've got like 100 units without that.
Janet, you fired. Richard, my dear friend.
I think Janet just shuffles on out of the room. And Richard steps up, and he's like, Mr. Nathaniel, so I was just going over some of the programming, and I noticed it looks like there's like rounding errors in some of the software.
There's no rounding errors, Richard. Those are the exact correct numbers. Everything.
Of course, totally. I totally believe that you guys. I'm just like, I did the math a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it doesn't totally add up completely.
No, Richard. And he puts his chin on his hand and he winks at Richard. It was like, that's the point.
I think Richard swallows hard. It's like, okay. No questions. Just hoping you're having a great day, Mr. Nathaniel.
Oh, I am now.
And he kind of he kind of walks backwards out of the room, not daring to turn his back on you, as he is petrified after watching Janet lose her job. And as Richard moves out of the room, I just turn around and look at a very hidden camera
And I just go, Edna, remind me to find a new Janet and give Richard a raise. And the only thing you hear in the room is like a beep boop, as in like a confirmation.
Yes. Yep. Perfect. I was desperately scrambling to try to make a robot voice.
I don't think this would do it.
So yeah, no, I think you just hear a beep boop, like it's just a faint beep boop in acknowledgement. And it's at that point that you feel the pulse in your mind, which you know to be the council calling.
Not again.
And again, you feel you have your cell phone ring.
I pick up and immediately go, "Hey, Volos, buddy, how are you doing?"
Oh, Nathaniel, it's such a pleasure to hear your voice again. You've done such great work for us.
Just get on with it, Volos.
Well, you see, it's time we call in the favor that you owe us.
Wasn't the first favor you asked me to not turn Edna in a new HAL 9000?
Well, I like to think that one was just on good faith. This one
Right.
is payment.
Okay.
We'll need you to report to the same area that you ascended to, as soon as is inconvenient.
So basically now, I get it.
Yes, that would be spectacular.
Anything else?
I love you.
I love you, best buddy.
And I think that's where that scene kind of fades out. The next scene, we're on a ranch field. Dark skies above, acrid soil and thin grass. The founder and CEO of Reevan Chicken Pies, Mr. William Rutherford, is talking livestock with the lead ranch hand, Abby. Math, why don't you go ahead and kind of describe a little bit about what Mr. William Rutherford looks like?
Well, Mr. William Rutherford's my father. You can call me Billy.
Wow. All right.
We're wearing some, light linen suit. Got a little bit of a sweater vest situation going on. Jacket, casually folded, tossed to the side. Sleeves rolled up. Got a nice tie on under there. A little looking like the everyman. Looking like I'm about to get my hands dirty. Do some.
Damn. All right. You are currently talking to your lead ranch hand, Abby. And Abby's on her big, magnificent horse, kind of lasso in one hand, shotgun in the other hand. I don't know why she has a shotgun, but she's got one just in case. And she kind of like gallops up to trots up, horse words, up to the fence that you're probably like leaning on. And she kind of tips her cap to you. Howdy, Mr. Rutherford, sir.
Oh, afternoon there, Abigail. You can call me Billy.
Well, Billy, I got some bad news.
Well, lay it on me.
Well, Billy, I'm not sure how to put this. We're kind of missing, there's I counted the chickens and it's there's supposed to be so many, and there was for sure, definitely not quite as many as there should have been.
Abigail, I like to smile and look someone in the face when I tell them they're doing a bad job.
Oh, well, I mean, this is the thing though, Billy, I herded them up real good last night. I put them all in their enormous chicken coop, and I counted them all. They were all there, all 324. And today, when I was letting them out of their coop, there was 320. And Something got into the chicken coop last night or something. We're missing 4.
Well, Abigail. Fuck.
I'm just. Do you know who I should call to maybe?
You know what,
Look
Abigail?
for him?
You're looking like something was sat up on that steed. You just keep doing what you're doing, and I think I'm gonna take it from here.
Okay, so you're gonna. So should I, when I go to count them tonight, should I expect 324 or 320?
You just count what your eyes see and report back to me in the morning.
Oh, all right. I guess I'll just. Well, Billy. That's. I guess that's kind of all I really had to say. I'm sorry I lost 4 giant chickens.
Nope, that's all right. Lean on down here. Give me a hug, girl.
All right. That's. I mean, okay. And she kind of.
Nope. Hold on. Not a hug unless it lasts 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Of course. I mean, it's just that my back hurts because I'm like leaning off the horse. This is like a very awkward.
I was gonna hug the horse. I'll get around the neck. Give everybody a hug.
All right. Everyone gets a hug. There we go.
There you go. Get a picture of that.
Yeah.
Goddamn, we look good. All right.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Billy. That's very helpful, I think.
Yeah, you just keep on keeping on there, Abigail.
And you feel that pulse in your mind that says that the council is calling. And sure enough, your phone rings.
Oh, pardon me there, Abby. I'll have to take this.
Yeah, sure, no problem. I'll just get the hell away from you.
Yellow.
Oh, hello, Mr. Rutherford.
Oh, we've been doing business long enough. You know you can call me Billy. How it going?
I really hate the name Billy. It's like a child's name, Mr. Rutherford. Well,
All right.
okay. The time has come, Mr. Rutherford, to pay the favor that you owe the council.
Hey, you got it. I can pencil you in. Got a couple babies to kiss. Got a couple pies to christen.
Yes, those can all wait, unless you can do them on the way, because you are required now.
Yeah, sure thing, boss.
Excellent. Meet us at the same place that you first ascended.
Did you talk about that before I got here?
Not really. It's just like character knowledge would have that.
All right.
Oh yeah.
We'll pretend I remember that. Good talk.
Perfect. I love you.
Love you too, big guy.
And that's kind of where that scene ends as well. And the last place that we find ourselves is inside the printing room of the leading newspaper company in Rievenkus. This is the Daily Standard, and the owner of the company, Jacqueline, is having a discussion with her top reporter, Claudette. So, Nico, why don't you tell us a little bit about what Jacqueline looks like?
All right. So Jacqueline is a relatively short woman, like 5'3", but she wears heels to kind of make herself look a bit more taller. She looks nervous. There's a nervous air about her, despite her position in the company. She has long brown hair that's loosely braided and falling down her. And she's wearing sunglasses inside the pressing room.
Perfect. And you're talking to Claudette, who's your top reporter. And Claudette is kind of tall, wide-eyed, eager, the kind of killer's look in her eye, like she is gunning for the next big story. And she kind of catches you inside the printing room, I guess, as you're maybe going from the lunchroom to your office or something. And so there's like papers flying by behind you guys. And Claudette kind of flags you down. She says, bonjour, Miss Jacqueline, I have some questions.
Can't it wait until after lunch here?
I mean, it could, but I have these are very important. It's a new story, and I did a lot of good work, but it's getting all cancelled.
Listen, my blood sugar's low. This can wait.
I understand. I'm kind of on the way out the door, and I was just wondering if maybe you could tell me why some of these stories of violent deaths aren't being published. I found some very interesting information.
Where? Where did you find this information?
It was at the Tortuga Hotel, and there was a massacre there. It was like a monster. I believe it was a monster got inside the city.
A monster inside the city?
Yes, Miss Jacqueline, it was a monster inside the city, and I know they're not supposed to be inside the city, but that's what it looked like. But there was no monster when I got there.
That's interesting. Perhaps there was no monster after all, and you should really not believe everything you read.
I mean, yes, Miss Jacqueline, it looks like some of my reporting is being pushed aside. Should we not at least report on the story and see if people saw something?
Look, is that papers you're holding? Is that?
Yes, this is all of the research that I did.
Yeah,
and
just give me all of that. I'll look at it during my lunch break, and we'll talk about it.
All right, thank you, Miss Jacqueline. I know I can always count on you to have a good reporter's eye. That's what's got you the fancy job that you have now, right? That's all right. That's okay. Thank you, Miss Jacqueline. Have a good lunch.
Kind of grabs the papers and doesn't care if they get kind of crinkled and brushes off to her.
Yeah. And I think on your way to the office, you feel this pulse inside your mind, which you know to mean that the council is calling, and your phone rings.
She kind of swallows hard and answers. Hello?
Oh, hello, Jacqueline. It's so nice to hear from you again.
Hi, what can I do for you?
It's the council, and the time has come to pay the favor that you owe for your ascension.
Date and time? Place and time? Yes, that.
Yes. Right now, and at the same place that you first ascended.
Of course, I'll, right away.
And don't think about having a lunch break first. I mean now.
Yeah, okay.
Excellent. I love you.
Yeah, love you too.
And with that, all of the characters have received the call by the council. And you know where this location is. It's this giant, gaudy kind of office building. And you will kind of make your way there. I know in all your character sheets, you had a description of what your vehicles were. Let's just run through them kind of really quick. Andreas, what's your vehicle?
It's really sleek. It's like a black, sleek, luxury sedan.
Fucking awesome. Jacqueline, what was your car? Your vehicle?
Something new, something shiny.
Perfect. You guys also have like a VIP road, so like traffic is fucking locked down, but there is special VIP lanes for VIPs that you guys get to drive in. Nathaniel, what was your vehicle?
A very, very sleek motorcycle.
Yes, I knew there was one with a motorcycle. Vida, what was your vehicle?
Also a new car. Just making sure there's tons of comms capabilities in it. Text popping up all over the windshield and etc.
Yes.
Car phone.
Yep, absolutely.
Highly fancy.
And Mr. Billy Rutherford, are you going on a horse or do you got an actual vehicle?
I got a big old white Cadillac, Space Caddy.
Oh, God.
I don't know if all of it works, but the air conditioning sure does.
Okay. So you guys make your way to this enormous office building. And you're on the ground floor. You entered through these massive revolving glass doors. And I like to think that you all kind of arrived at basically the same time, like movie style. How 5 strangers all get the same call, all wind up at the place at the same time. And you all have this look in your eye that you know why the other people are there. You know enough about the Ascended to know that other big players in the business game, there's only one reason you would all be gathered here. And the room that you stepped into is it almost looks like an expensive hotel lobby. Hardwood walls, granite pillars, gold filigree, and a big crystal chandelier. And you've made your way to the elevators. And since this isn't your first time here, you know which elevator to stand in front of. There are subtle obsidian veins running through the marble floor, and almost imperceptibly they change day to day. And where all the tendrils of this obsidian lead, that's the elevator door you take. You step into the elevator, and you don't press a button. You don't press a button for a floor. Instead, you open the panel to the emergency phone, and you listen. And what you hear can only be described as a soul being torn into a million pieces. It's horrifying. You've heard it before, so your stomach is kind of prepared, but it still puts a good turn on your stomach. And the scream on the phone grows louder and louder, and then the elevator starts going down. It starts going down faster and faster until you're speeding at an incredible rate. And as you descend, you all begin to transform. Humans are not allowed in the underworld, and the entry to the underworld causes you all to transform into your monstrous forms. Andreas, why don't you describe to everyone what your monstrous form looks like as you shift in the elevator?
So, his suit is unaffected, but he gets lankier. His handsome visage is disappearing to almost nothing. Like it was no facial features, just plain head on a frame. His skin gets paler and his arms get longer and lankier, to the point where he just looks like an elongated humanoid form. But you have a feeling that just looking at him might drive you mad.
Perfect. Next, Vida. Why don't you tell us what Vida Norwood changes into as the elevator goes down?
As you look at her, she seems to fade. Her frame kind of turns into shadow until it's more than shadow, it's just void. And then around her, fire just bursts out. Fire all over my face. She's on fire. You can't really tell her gender anymore because of fire. It looks like there's a void inside the fire that is Vida shaped, but who can say on account of fire? So just lots of fire happening.
Perfect. And Mr. Rutherford, Billy, what happens to Billy as the elevator descends?
Well, I'm a big old portly gentleman, and my stomach starts sucking in up my spine, and I just start giggling. And my eyes turn into these just like two glowing yellow dots that leave these little trails, and my teeth sort of like distend out of my nose, and I sprout this sort of like dark auburn fur, and I just turn into this sort of like almost like Tim Burton's Sickly Thin in the Middle, kind of just giant werefox. And then as I'm sort of cackling, I cough up, and a few space chicken feathers come out.
Oh my god.
Found the
other. It was an inside job.
And Nathaniel, why don't you give us a little bit of a flavor of what happens to Nathaniel as this elevator goes down?
Unlike our two other companions, Nathaniel doesn't really change all that much. He just starts sprouting like wings from his back that are reminiscent of angel wings, but instead they're pitch black and leather. And his eyes have a red shade to it, and then a completely sinister aura around him as he smirks.
Fucking awesome. And Jackie, Miss Jacqueline, why don't you give us a last bit of the elevator ride down before you guys arrive? What does Jackie turn into?
So she kind of curls in on herself a bit and then gets bigger. Her limbs extend and she kind of like rips through her clothing, and there's like hair everywhere, and then wings sprout out from her forearms, and these really long ears from her skull, and her face gets all gnarly, but she kind of hides that until she like looks up at everyone and she's like a werebat.
Hell yes.
Yes.
And
I love it.
Now we have the 5 monsters. The elevator stops at the bottom. In front of you is a long red carpet, maybe half a mile long. It's dimly lit, and from where you don't know, because immediately to the left and right of the carpet is pitch darkness, with horrifying sounds coming from it. You all know from your first trip here that you never look into the darkness, for the things there only seek to harm you. Eventually, you make your way. Well, I guess, would you guys like to do anything on your trek across the red carpet? Or do you just want to go? I want to, in case anyone has anything clever, I would like to let you do something. But other than that, you guys are just going to kind of traverse the red carpet.
I think unless we run into each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely keep my distance from the giant ball of fire. Try and stick to as far away from that as I could.
Smart.
Yes, sorry, it gets a little hot.
And
the only thing my character does is just scoff a little bit at Mr. Werefox over.
Does the hall look any different than when we were first here?
No. And in fact, I will say that with the blaze coming off of Vida, you would think you could see more off the carpet, but it's almost like the darkness devours the light coming off of the flaming Vida. And I think as you guys approach the end of the carpet, you approach that large black iron door. You know on the other side is the council. And who would like to knock?
I'll do it.
Thanks, I don't really have hands.
And it's got this giant brass knocker on the front. And you lift it up. It's heavy. And it comes down with a crash that's like a gong. And it reverberates through the darkness of this entire room. And with that single knock, it starts to open into the council chamber. It is a darkened meeting room. There are sconces with deep red flames in them all along the walls. But the rest of the room is largely hidden in darkness, except a long rectangular wooden table in the center of the room. There are 5 chairs for the 5 of you, and at the opposite end of the table sit the tribune. You know them from your ascension. This is Mitra, Vetha, and Volos. And they're just sitting there with their hands steepled in front of their cloaked hoods.
I walk in slowly and approach like the first chair at the head and pull it out and await the others. Screw it, I'm sitting down.
My character just runs in with like determination as he's like working on a little like notepad, basically writing like equations out. Just runs in, says, "Hey, buddy," to Vola, and just leans against a pillar as he's continuing with his work.
Gotcha. So you don't sit in a seat?
No, I do not sit in the seat.
Okay. I gotta make a note of this.
Whoa.
How about everybody else? Vida, what are you doing?
What are the seats made out of?
They're made out of wood. They're made out of wood? Yeah, no, they're made out of wood.
Okay, I go up and I like stand a hand piece of fire to try and pull a chair out to get into it, and then I go, oh, no, I can't actually, and then I try and go around it, and I try and sit, just kind of hover near it.
I'm gonna pull the chair out for.
Yes, thank you. Yes, could you just tell me if I'm getting too close?
You're fine. You'll be fine.
Oh God, that music is loud.
Scary.
Oh, I didn't realize Bill was here.
And 1 second.
Bill. William.
I think I would try to be like the last one in, and I'd try to stick to the shadows, but I just have those 2 sort of like beady, glowing yellow eyes leaving a trail. And once I get into the door, each eye goes in a different direction, and you sort of lose sight of where the fox is. And then in the farthest seat from the giant flaming person, they sort of both like connect again, and I sort of just like slink out of the darkness and into the chair.
That is super unsettling. I have this perfect vision of like when you said what's the person's name now?
Tim Burton?
Tim Burton. When you said Tim Burton fucking werefox, it's like, oh God, I can totally see that with that weird like constricted waist.
Yeah. Always.
And okay, so Vida is in a seat-ish. And Billy, you are in a seat, right?
Yeah, as far away as I can get from like the giant light source, but yes.
Yeah. And Jackie.
She kind of like lumbers forward using like her feet and arms, and then just kind of like tries to sit on a seat, probably like hunched over the table a bit, and she kind of tucks in her arms so they're not whapping anyone in the face.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Now, I think we may have just lost Yendar.
Yeah, back in 3, restarting router.
Oh, okay. So, okay, let's see. I think at this point, the one named Mitra speaks to you, Billy.
Well, Billy, I see you've been eating your own stock lately.
Yep, you just get hungry at night sometimes, you know what I mean?
I hope it doesn't affect our bottom line.
Just big shrug.
And Miss Jackie, I understand you're covering one of the stories.
Mm-hmm.
One moment, my music is so loud I can't even think. I understand you have a reporter who's getting dangerously close to the truth. Are you handling this?
I am.
And the one named Vetha then speaks up.
That is good. It's important that we don't suffer any delays and any setbacks. Please ensure that this story does not get spread.
You have my word.
And then Mitra kind of notices the attentiveness of Nathaniel come back for a brief moment and assumes that now they have the attention of everyone. And Mitra says,
Greetings, Ascended. It is good that you have heeded our call.
And Vetha speaks up.
Yes, you have done well. We have a mission for you.
And Volos speaks up.
There is someone seeking to undo everything we have built.
There was a man. He thought he was too good for us. He refused his ascension. He somehow refused his transformation altogether.
And Volos speaks up.
Haroon, the insolent rat. He seeks to undo the balance that we have in this world.
Yes, Haroon. He is something of a mystery to us, but he is destructive nonetheless. You must find this Haroon. He has left the city.
Vetha speaks up.
North, follow the signs of the scorching.
And Volos speaks up.
One final little thing. As you know, you're free to use your true form whenever you are away from prying eyes. If Haroon did indeed flee the city, you can use your true form once you are beyond the line. But when you are within the city, you must remain human. As you all know, Jacqueline better than most. It is a closely guarded secret of our existence. It would be unfortunate to have to kill all of you who go against the will of the Council. But you're all quite clever.
Yes, you're all clever enough. I'm sure you would never do something to cause a scene, right?
Of course not.
Right.
I slowly slurp in a feather.
Nathaniel looks up from his notepad and is like, wait, you were saying something?
Nathaniel, you had better have been listening. This is important.
My equations are important too.
Yes, your business is extremely important to our goings on. But Haroon could undo all of it. I think it's in everyone's interest that we find Haroon.
So you're saying they refused their transformation, but they're outside the city limits?
We're not sure if he left the city. We are relatively convinced, but it will require a bit of work on your end to confirm that he actually left the city.
Do you have any questions about Haroon? We will share all that we know.
I need to know what he looked like when he was human. Potentially what he looked like when he turned into a creature. I'm sure I can put his appearance into our security and see what it pulls up.
Yes. His human form is likely what you will find, as he has rejected his transformation. He has shoulder-length, fair hair. He is relatively tall and slim of build. His eyes are a strange orange color, unusual by most standards. His monstrous form.
Yes, his monstrous form. He never attained it, but there was a hint of it as he fought it back. It's magnificent. He could be one of the most powerful. It is dark, and it is large, and it is powerful, but we don't know what specifically.
Any other questions?
Last known location would be great.
The last known location was when he was speaking with the Northern Gate Guards. We don't know what he was doing, but if he was talking to the Gate Guards, we suspect he may have been trying to leave the city.
Did he have a vehicle?
Not that we know of. He has one, but it is still in the city.
Do we have any type of registration for the vehicle, just so that we can track it?
Yes, I can give you his license plate number.
And you do get the license plate number of his vehicle.
Okay.
Does Haroon have any favorite snacks?
Favorite snacks? What an interesting question. I hear he likes Little Debbie's. I'm sorry, red ink Little Debbie's. Little Dobbies.
Sorry, repeat that last bit. I was coughing.
He's a big fan of Little Dobbies.
Dobbies, yikes. Got it, thanks.
Master, give Dobby stock.
Nathaniel peeks up from over his little notepad and is like, "Did Haroon have any family?"
Any what? Family?
Yes.
Not that we could track. I suspect he actually comes from a different city.
A different city?
Yes, I don't know how he got here without any traceable paperwork, but we can't find a record of his parents or anyone related to him in this city.
Is there any favorite dives, locations he tends to hang around?
there was word he was actually trying to start a small religious movement near the Bacon Pub, where only the most wholesome of individuals, those who rebel against the current system, he would frequent the Bacon Pub and give small sermons to his insane religion.
Excellent. I think I have enough for my systems to go through.
You should be careful. He rejects everything that the Council is. He rejects everything of the way Rievan Kuss works. If he finds that you are ascended, he will likely react violently.
That's not a concern.
Why don't let's see, let's do a couple rolls here to get some actual monster information. And why don't we get our two newest folks who have never played Mar to do the rolls? So why don't we do Nathaniel, why don't you do investigate a mystery? So roll 2d6 plus sharp.
Okay.
I can never. I think it's backslash roll 2d2 backslash roll 2d6 plus like whatever you're kind of like that. So it's backslash roll 2d6. I think there might have to be a space in there, plus whatever your sharp modifier is on your character sheet.
Is my sharp modifier?
Sharp should be when you chose. Yeah, there you go. So 2d6 plus 1. Backslash roll space.
Supposed to be a space in there somewhere.
Yeah, plus. I think it's backslash roll space. Then it's just 2d6 plus 1. Slash roll space 2d6. There we go.
6.
Uh-oh. So that is technically a failure. However, it is right on the threshold if someone would like to help out.
I'll help.
Okay, perfect. Andreas, why don't you roll to help out, which is plus cool. And give me a bit of a flavor for, I guess you kind of see Nathaniel putting pieces together about trying to determine who and what Haroon is, where they could be, and you just decide to offer, you're somehow you're putting that together. Why don't you give me a little narrative flavor for how the help out is?
Yeah, sure. Let me roll first.
Yeah.
See how that goes.
Exactly. It might be bad. So yeah, that's plus cool.
Oh, plus cool. Okay.
Yeah. Oh wait, that's 1d6. That's 1d6. You could still technically roll another d6.
Oh, whoops.
Suspense.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a full success. That's 10. Okay, so you help and you don't expose yourself to danger, and that turns Nathaniel's miss into a mixed success. So why don't you give me a little flavor, Andreas, for how you're helping Nathaniel kind of do this investigation?
So he's not sitting at the table, so Andreas backs up from the table. Pardon me, Council. And then
Yes.
So he stands up, approaches Nathaniel, is just like, "This is what happens when you over-engineer your shit, Nathaniel."
I had to dumb down Edna because Folo's best buddy over there wasn't happy with me.
Margaret, my software runs on your stuff. I know you over-engineer. Okay, let me see that. See? He starts he's like, "Oh, you're buried under all these windows. Hold up, you know, like he's like putting in like commands, just like.
There you go. See, simplified.
I just stare him down.
And surprisingly, what he did helped. And now you can ask one of these questions. Can I post it here? Kind of works. So I'll read them out too. And I mean, if none of these really work, feel free to just ask a question related to it if none of these totally fit. So, what happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? And what is being concealed here? Those are the questions that you can ask, or something else, you know, adjacent to that if none of those questions really work.
Because my router died and I don't really know if this was told, why did Haroon reject his monstrous form?
Ah, yes.
Well, we brought him here to become one of the Ascended.
Yes, he was to be a magnificent Ascended. He could have brought people under the banner of the Council. Perhaps we wouldn't have to operate in the shadows anymore.
But he did not appreciate the suffering of so many for the prospering of a few. It's this bizarre religion he has.
Yes, his religion convinced him that all should prosper and all should suffer, while we believe some should prosper free of suffering. And if that costs the suffering of many, so be it.
And he would not have that. He rejected his ascension. I don't even know how that's possible.
Nathaniel is pretty pensive because he remembers during his ascension, Volos told him it is extremely hard to reject your monster form.
Yes, it is almost unfathomable. And you get the impression this is the only time this has ever happened.
Yes.
And next, why don't we get Miss Jacqueline, to roll to read a bad situation. Because this is a bad situation on multiple levels. You're being asked to fulfill the favor. You are in the presence of the council, and you are about to set off hunting something that you guys don't quite understand yet, but you're getting a bit of a grip on. So why don't you roll plus sharp, 2d6 plus whatever your sharp modifier is.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
I'll help that.
Yes.
Full success.
Yep, perfect. Roll to help out, which is roll plus cool. Yep. Okay. So where's bad situation? Okay. So on a full success, you get to ask 3 questions. Okay, there we go. Yeah, those are the questions. I'll read them out too. So the questions, you get to ask fucking 3 of them. What's my best way in? What's my best way out? Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? What's the biggest threat? What's most vulnerable to me? Which I don't understand that question, so please don't ask that one. And what's the best way to protect the victim? So those are the questions. And feel free to ask adjacent to them too. Like if they kind of inspire you to ask something else related to that, ask that too. We don't have to stick strictly to that script.
Okay. So I guess what's the biggest threat? Maybe they told us a glimpse of kind of his transformed state, but
yes.
like
yes.
what exactly we should maybe
That is perfect. So what is the biggest threat?
I believe the biggest threat is his power to subdue transformation. We don't understand it fully, and if he can subdue your ability to transform, you will be stuck as powerless humans. And that would be a bad situation indeed.
And you can ask 2 more questions.
Any of these in particular anyone else thinks that I should pick?
Oh man. There's so many options.
Or anything else. If someone else has another question that this has inspired them, feel free to throw that out there too.
I mean, the only other question I have is why us? I know it's a debt, but why us? There's more people in the town that are ascended.
Are we somehow equipped?
Would you like to ask why you guys? Jackie?
Yeah.
Oh, that is a complicated question. I'll answer it simply and say, you were among the more powerful ascended. Your monstrous forms are more than the average monstrous, and Haroon is not to be underestimated.
Additionally, you are special in other ways that you cannot understand, and we believe you have a large part to play in what is to come.
And one more question.
What if we can't find him?
Ooh.
That is not acceptable. You will find him, or you will die trying. There is no coming back without having found him.
Loud and clear.
Go back to the part where you were calling us special.
Oh, that's a story for another time, perhaps. You wouldn't understand it even if I explained it to you.
It's just it was a lot nicer. More of a pep talk before we go out into this very scary.
You're also special and wonderful. You're unique and beautiful and strong and glorious and capable and blah, blah, blah.
One of Billy's like little glowing fox eyes had looped around to behind Jacqueline for the help out. So like one eye is still sitting where he was sitting and the other one's like across the table. And you can hear the cackle coming from like both locations as Volus is telling us how awesome we are.
Oh, weird.
Gross.
The eyeball has a little mouth. Sorry, go ahead.
Nathaniel just runs over to Volos and slaps him on the back. And they're like, this is why you're my favorite.
Oh, that's quite unnecessary. Thank you, Nathaniel. That's so nice.
How did Volos react to a slap on the back? I'm so curious.
Not great.
Yeah. Not great at all. Like, because he's like on the opposite. He's like, I know. Well, that's just it. So he's like on the opposite side of the table from you guys. So like, as you were kind of running around the table, he sat there very still until he realized that you were actually coming all the way around, and like the gall to come all the way around to, you know, like face-to-face territory with the council. There was this like moment where his steepled hands in front of his face started to go down almost to like hold you back a little bit, but he was not moving very quick as he was not expecting you to actually carry through with this. And when you hit him, like, you didn't like fucking hit him, but when you slapped him in the back, you slapped what felt like a very heavy mass of flesh and bone. Like, as if a leather bag had been filled with steak and femurs.
I don't like that. No.
Both of the yellow dots like whip back to the seat And I'm just kind of sitting there with like my hands clasped in my lap, looking very sheepish, like looking around the table at everybody.
Yeah, I think Andreas tries to settle the mood. Hold on, Hey, Billy.
Hey, how's it going, Chief?
I know you like jokes. I've been thinking about this one because it reminds me of you. What do you get when you cross a farmer and a computer?
That one's got me stumped there, champ.
The farmer in the dell.
God. Now the campaign ends and everybody dies.
That was his
Almost dies of laughter.
Be right back.
To go.
So I am actually going to give you guys an additional piece of information because I just realized something. Nathaniel, when you went and really startled Volos, he ended up standing up, and he's not, freakishly tall or anything, but you immediately found yourself back on the other side of the table. And more than that, actually, you know what? No, you guys got to roll for it. Everybody roll plus sharp.
Oh my goodness.
See if you're... See if you're...
monster stats or human stats?
I was just going to ask.
This is with monster stats.
So
I don't like
2d6?
that.
2d6 plus whatever your sharp modifier is.
Monster Jacqueline is very sharp.
Very sharp.
I see
Okay.
y'all.
That's right.
I'm sorry, Mr. Williams.
Luck.
Oh,
you want to use luck?
nice one.
If I'm going to die, luck.
Okay. You're not going to die, but I will say that you and Billy and Jackie see this. The rest of you are so kind of caught up with the horrific tension in the room that caused. Like, Volo stood and there was almost like an emanation of energy in the room. And Nathaniel was just suddenly back on your side of the table when he stood up. And what the three of you saw was Mitra and Vetha almost like it was like almost like a TV channel that you don't get for a brief moment.
Like a projection.
Like it's like they were fuzzing out for the briefest of moments.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right. That is quite enough. I think you've learned everything you need to learn to do your job. And it would be just so nice if the five of you would get the fuck out of my office.
Got it, best buddy. And he
Fine.
just walks out.
I'm already gone.
He,
Love you.
Fades through the floor.
Love you.
I love you.
Jackie knocks over a couple chairs on her way out.
Okay. And you guys just met the council.
Some spoopy dudes.
And I think at this point, you guys kind of leave the underground chamber. You get back in the elevator, and as you go back up, you all begin reverting back into your human forms. And now it's kind of a question of what would you guys like to do next?
What the hell was that? Just slap him in the back of the back. Hey, it's going, big buddy. Really? You want us dead?
Farmer in the dell.
Volus isn't gonna do anything to me. He's my best buddy.
You didn't see that, did you?
Wait, what?
Never mind. Well, what do we do now?
Gosh, I mean, I guess we do all we can to prepare, and then head on out. Get your best galoshes for the, bogs and stuff. Grab some little dobbies.
Oh, I do love those little dummies. Did we ever get like his human location? Like, do we know of this dude? Was he like hanging out with us when we were peeps?
We know his last known location, which was the northern gate out of the city. But other than that, no. Other than that, he hangs in front of like the Bacon Pub and does his sermon.
Hey, Jacqueline, you ever cover this loon in your papers? I don't really read the news.
Would we have covered like him and his religious thing?
That's a good question. I want to do like a history check or something like that. Let's see.
Could it just be a mystery?
I know, that's kind of what I'm thinking. This could just be investigate a mystery to kind of see, like, I guess maybe on your B phone, L phone, whatever your iPhone red ink iPhone equivalent is.
The Omniphone.
The Omniphone, yes,
Of course.
exactly. On your Omniphone, you can kind of dig through some of the headlines from your company. So why don't you roll plus sharp and see if you can find a story on Perun's sermons. So that is
mundane human form?
That's right. Yeah, you guys are all human form. Human form plus sharp.
Oh boy.
How y'all getting newspapers on your jitterbugs?
Jesus.
Okay, mixed success. You can ask one question, which I guess is basically like, can I find Perun seminars on the thing? And yeah, I guess you can. You can find a couple of reports. They didn't sell all that well because he's just kind of like, the story reads very much an eccentric person hangs out by the bar and says ridiculous things. So you have covered him there. What kind of information are you guys looking to glean from this newspaper story?
I want to know where he lives.
I want to know what his day job is.
Ooh.
I want to know what clothes he was wearing.
Oh yeah, is there a picture?
Yes, there is a picture of him, and he's wearing these long white robes. As for where he lives, no one really knows. It's not reported on. And then there was another question. There was what he looks like, where he lives. Is that
His day job? What he does?
Oh, day job. As near as you can tell, it's like life coach.
That tracks.
Yeah. Basically, yes.
Kool-Aid manufacturer.
Yes, exactly. Purveyor of fine Kool-Aids. Yeah, no, he was kind of an eccentric nut who led a small religious cult that wanted prosper for all and the downfall of the tyrants. And nobody knows where he lived, but he was wearing white robes.
Well, I wanted to get my sniffer on the boy, but can't get nothing he had.
Well, actually, physical locations. If we took you to a physical location, could you discern the scent, maybe?
That sounds like a question for the keeper, but I sure got a heck of a sniffer.
Well, if you got a heck of a sniffer, then I'm gonna say you could heckin' sniff that snorf and get a snuff of them.
That's only in monstrous form, though, so we'd have to be
Yeah.
pretty careful about changing.
Exactly. Yep.
Ooh.
Another option, we could go talk to the guards at the northern gate.
Oh yeah, we know he was there too.
Yeah.
I have a question. Since I'm like the CEO of a security firm that does like things all over the city, I want to check to see if any of our systems may have caught him talking to that guard and maybe tracked him. Where he went.
Nice.
Fuck yes.
CCTV.
Exactly. So the city gate guards are something kind of beyond what your company normally does. So you wouldn't have anything at the gate itself, but you might have something a block down or half a block down where you could have caught him inadvertently. So I think I think this is kind of wait, no, this is kind of like read a bad situation. Nope, this is still investigate. This is still investigate a mystery. So why don't you roll me a plus sharp? See if you can glean some information from your security logs, which is plus sharp.
Try to go back into history. I'm just gonna type it down.
7. One question. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? I guess, yeah, so ask one of the investigative mystery questions or whatever it is you want to get from your video documentary, your video documentary that you made. Your Vidoc. Oh wait, what?
It went through.
Oh. Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I see a 9.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so one question. What are you looking to get?
Where did he go from? Like, I wanted to see where we knew he was at the gate at one point, so I'm looking for any coverage of when he was at that gate, and then pick him up as he traverses the city.
Okay. I will say you have this one of the cameras for one of your clients kind of watches the front of the shop, and it's got a street view, and the camera sways left and right and left and right. And it sways left and it sees Haroon walking down the street, but you were told that he had shoulder length white hair, and his hair, it's a little bit longer than that in this video. It's more like almost halfway down his back, and he's just walking barefoot along this grungy, nasty city, and he's holding it looks like a stick, almost like a walking cane, except it's all straight, no curves to it. And he is got his white robes on, and he's walking down the street, and kind of like as the camera turns left, it catches him, and then as the camera is swinging right, it's kind of like keeping pace with him as you watch him walk down the street towards the gate guard. Then the camera turns back left again, and there's no audio. And then it turns back right, and you see him at the gate talking to the guards. And the guards are doing their very standard, kind of one hand out, one hand on the gun, no one's passing kind of thing. And then it sweeps back to the left. And then it sweeps back to the right. And the guard has his hands down and seems to be engaging in some sort of a very real conversation. And then the camera sweeps left again. And the camera sweeps back right, and you see the guard back at his post, and you think you see just a hint of the white robe trailing off north of the city, headed towards the line, past the gate guard.
If we keep watching, do we see anyone come back?
No, yeah, it sweeps left and right and left to right. Nobody goes up to the guard again from the left, from like either side. And the guards also don't make any motions to call or raise an alarm.
Okay. So I'm getting the impression that he let him through. Anyone else?
Yeah, agreed. Left and he stayed gone.
So,
And then
go on.
Nathaniel pipes up and is like, "What was the timestamp on that security video?"
Let's see here.
It was
21.
Yeah. Go ahead.
21:36:44.
And yeah, and the date, I think it has a date on it too, and the date is let's see the night before last. So not last night, but the night before it.
Nathaniel keeps thinking and is like, to rule out completely that he's gone, I could investigate if he withdrew any money since then.
Oh, yes.
Because
Absolutely.
if he withdrew money, he's still in town.
Yeah.
So
So
roll to
go.
investigate.
Yeah, exactly. So roll plus sharp. Let's investigate this. What happened to his money records?
Oh God.
Uh-oh.
Help.
Andreas, you offered to help?
This is what happens when Volos dumbs down a HAL 9000 AI.
Right, exactly. Okay.
Brought all those damn windows back, didn't you?
Blame Volos.
Give me the thing.
Hands over the tablet.
It's where you make these. Here, there. He like takes a nip from his like flask. He's just like, oh my god.
And you can see into Haroon's record. And I think part of the problem is that his record is like super obscure. The money comes in weird batches at obscure times and leaves randomly. It's so hard to track or understand. And there was one final activity on it, which was a transfer of all the funds in his account to the Bacon Pub.
Nathaniel goes like, motherfucker. He's good.
Anyone fancy a beer?
Well, I thought you'd never ask.
You guys
I
want
say we
to...
go down to the I say nice.
Can you rewind them camera jiggers and see where it came from?
Yeah. Here, one moment. And he does the thing. He's like,
Yeah.
And bam.
And I think you can't really see. It's just like it looks all the way down the street. You can maybe see one cross street. And he came, he didn't turn a corner to come this way. He was just walking straight down the street. So there's not much information from this little CCTV. And you guys would like to head to the Bacon Pub?
Follow
Yeah,
the
it seems
money.
important. Yeah, it's true. That's what they say.
Okay.
So the Bacon Pub is inside the line, but we saw him go out?
That's right.
But that was where he had frequented in the past. And his last money transaction was transferring all his money there.
In the meantime, can we somehow signal whoever that guard was under to be brought in for questioning?
Oh. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think The security that you do and the security for the city gate is a little bit mismatch, right? It's not like, but you're high enough and powerful enough in a relevant enough sector that I think you have enough pull to get that guard's name and bring him for questioning. Where would you like him brought?
I want to be brought to a place like definitely some place that's a little more official, like a station or something like that. But somewhere where he'll know, like I don't think the city knows of the council, but someplace where he knows that he's in trouble if he's here.
Do the city guards know about the council?
Do the gate guards know about the council?
Yeah.
That's a very good question. You don't know the answer to that explicitly, but you have to assume that the council operates beyond, like, the council, as powerful as they are, operating only within the city seems insane. So they have to operate outside the city, and to do that, they would either have to operate without the gate guards' notice or have the gate guards aware to some degree. I don't know if you know which it is. That would be a tough subject to approach. Hey, you know our dark overlords?
Can we just call Bolas?
Yeah, you could.
I mean, I don't really want to. That guy's little.
What could possibly go wrong? And I just ring a Polo.
I immediately take 15 steps away from him because I don't know what's about to happen.
I hand Andreas the phone.
Yes. Hello, Nathaniel.
So in my best Nathaniel voice, I go,
Hey, is your refrigerator running?
Oh, Nathan, wait. That doesn't sound like them. Who is this?
I'm gonna actually roll to try to get a good impression.
Try to actually, okay, yeah, roll to manipulate someone. Oh my god. That is plus charm. Oh my god.
Nathaniel, that's not funny. This is a very serious line. What do you want?
I know, but I just wanted to cheer you up. I love you.
I love you.
Do that again and I will. Just don't do that again.
And I just pocket my phone back and I was like, yeah, we still don't know.
Then you can call him and you can talk to him.
So, would you guys like to head to the Bacon Pub? Or...
I mean, I think that's our best option right now.
Yeah, am I familiar with the Bacon Pub? Like, how big it is, how common it is? Because, if they sell food, I feel like they'd sort of be on my radar as a rival.
I think Billy would be very familiar with that pub.
Very familiar, because this is like the everyman's pub. So, when you want to go glad hand with the everyman, this is one of the fucking #1 places you go to.
Hell yes. All right, so I'm going to swing by RCP, the closest chain I could find, and just sort of walk in, order 50 fucking chicken pies, and shake some hands.
Yeah.
Tell everyone they're doing just a great job. Give some random person a hug, and then just get them all and get back in my caddy and meet those guys at the bacon place with 50 fucking pies.
Yeah, everyone's so fucking happy. Some of the maybe some of the patrons, don't recognize you right away, but all of the employees recognize you, and they all are kind of cheering, and as soon as you make your order, they just start firing it up, and everyone starts to recognize you, and they start taking pictures with you, and it's just it's a much ado about Billy.
Get that baby over here. I'm gonna give it a kiss. Get your photos now. There you go. There you go. RCP bucks for everybody. Get them pies rolling, folks.
Okay, and you just got fucking 50 pies, and you guys are heading down to the Bacon Pub. And when you get there, it's a fine place. It's not a dive bar. It's not some sort of travesty, but you find the people who kind of are climbing the ladder, the people who care a lot about improving their life, they do not come by here. The atmosphere is one of camaraderie here, and it very much sticks out like a sore thumb with the general malaise of the place. Like, I think most of you are immediately sickened by how much none of the people here care about their jobs. They don't fear their employers. It's very much not the way the world works, except Billy, you know, like, you leverage that kind of, persona that's here.
Sure do. Eating the pie at 12 at night in the dark, still eating the pie.
Yeah, okay, you guys are at the Bacon Pub. There's a couple people here. And there's like a soap box with a sign next to it that says we are all wonderful. And then there's a little sign on top of the box that says gone fishing.
Is there anyone kind of hanging around the box?
Yeah, there's maybe 4 or 5 people just kind of sitting on the ground, big smiles on their face. They look kind of like stereotypical hippies, and they got big smiles on their face. They're kind of laughing a little bit and talking very happily with each other.
How did the barkeeper react to us walking in?
The barkeeper, it was kind of a measured reaction, like a little bit of disgust, like you guys are the problem, but also like I turn that frown upside down, and everyone's welcome here, even people like you. Was just like a mixed set of reactions on his face.
I'll let you guys do your thing before I bust in and get stupid and start giving people pies.
So I've already done enough, so I'll take a step back from this as well, because this is not like Nathaniel's like comfort zone.
Yeah.
Everyone is talking to each other. It's just the vibe in here. Listen, you with the shirt.
Me?
Yeah, tell me about this sign you have here. Who's wonderful?
Oh man, we're all wonderful. You're wonderful. I'm wonderful. Everybody's wonderful. And we're all just looking to be better to each other, and no more stepping on each other.
No more stepping on each other. What an interesting sentiment. Where did you come up with, just out of the clear blue sky, clear red sky above us? Or?
No, I wish, but no, that was Haroon, man. He totally like opened up my mind. We can succeed by helping each other rather than putting each other down, man.
What a truly radical thought. I mean, I'd love to learn more about it. Where's your teacher?
Oh man, Haroon totally like took off or something. He like gave us all his teachings, and then he just said that he would come back one day and set things right.
But he just left you alone in the meantime?
He left us with each other. And he kind of winks.
There's no getting him down. I'm wondering if there's a move I can try and do.
Yeah, did you want to like, yeah, what are you guys like looking to gather here? Maybe you don't have to like guess the right NPC, but if you guys are looking for a specific something, it can be investigate a mystery or read a bad situation or act under pressure, I guess.
I mean, I would just want to get in there and then start chatting everybody up. And as soon as someone brought up, is it Haroon? Is that how, like P-A-R-O?
P-E-R-U-N. Haroon.
Haroon. Oh yeah. As soon as someone brought him up, I'd just sort of like try to leverage that conversation, get him to open up and tell us more information. And,
okay, yeah.
If he like hands out literature or anything like that, I want to try and get that sniff. I want to sniff.
Okay, maybe if you ask this guy that's kind of talking to Vida, it's like, do you have any literature? He's like, yeah, man, he gives us all the greatest sermons the human could ever need. You want it?
Well, boy, howdy. I'll trade you a big pie for one of them slips of paper.
Yeah, you bet. I got it right here. And he reaches into his like breast pocket and he pulls out nothing. It's in our heart, man.
Oh, well, isn't that sweet?
That way, nobody can ever take it away from us, man. It's part of us. And we can make it part of you, too.
You guys sure are something else. And I just give him like a big old clap on the shoulder and like drop a pie in front of him and leave.
I whisper to the rest of the party, oh, well, we know he gave all of his money to the place. Maybe we should talk to somebody in charge.
Just one side note. If you're looking for something with his scent on it, he was definitely out there holding that sign.
Oh, yeah, the sign.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I misread. So it's not like a like sign, like a sandwich board or like something hanging on the establishment. It's like a hand sign.
Yeah, it's like a hand sign with a big pole on it that he would stand on the soapbox and hold the sign up.
Fuck yes. Yeah, I'll just go outside. So imagine if I saw that and retcon this shit, like when I pull up to get all the pies out of the back of my caddy, I just throw the fucking sign in my trunk.
I think when you go to take the sign, the guy's like, no, man, he's going to need that when he comes back.
Can we distract the person by asking them a bunch of questions?
Yeah, now you can act under pressure to try to distract them.
Yeah, I would just start handing them bags of pies and you guys do your thing.
Oh, yeah, pie distraction while we take the sign.
Okay, yeah. Yep. Either way, it's act under pressure to try to distract him, whoever's doing the distracting.
Both of us.
And it is plus cool.
Thank you.
Oh, if someone wants to help out.
Could I help out by asking questions?
Yeah, okay, that's perfect. Okay, so roll to help out, which is plus cool.
Guess what? I have the power of heart. Oh, it's when fighting a monster. Drat.
These hippies look pretty monstrous. Sure, let's do it.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I don't have to roll then. I just automatically help
Oh,
as though
shit.
I rolled it.
Okay, yeah.
Powerful.
Fucking
power of
perfect. I think the power of heart is like really what moves him. You start asking questions like you're really interested in this whole like helping each other thing.
It's gonna change my whole life, this guy is.
And like as soon as you start asking those questions, all the hippies get up and they all start like, oh yeah, man, like, we don't need all that money. We don't need that promotion. We're doing totally great just the way we are. And I feel better when I make other people feel better. And like you're like trying not to gag and vomit as they talk about this.
Yeah. Right.
And Billy, you get that fucking sign, no problem, and you throw it in your truck.
I move my golf clubs out of the way and then stick it in there.
I think at one point, like you can't logic out how to make them both fit, and you think for a moment you might have to choose between the golf clubs and the sign.
I break the sign so it fits.
Yes.
Solid.
Okay, yeah, and now you have the sign. What else would you guys like to do at the pub? I know someone was perhaps wanting to follow the money.
following the money would be nice, but I don't know how I would do. The only person you could talk to would be the barkeeper. But since he's not really happy with us that we're there,
I think like he kind of has like that look on his face, like, all right, and then he kind of raises a pint of beer, and he's like, hey, for the newcomers, feel free to have a drink on the house. Where everyone's welcome here.
It's very
so
nice.
if I would try to investigate by talking to the barkeeper, it would be an act under pressure roll, right?
I think so. That probably makes the most sense. Like, you can ask anything you want, and act under pressure is to try not to just like be an absolutely insufferable dick to this guy who clearly reviles you. So that is plus cool.
If I tried to manipulate someone, is this guy like, is there enough enmity here that I would be rolling like at a disadvantage, or could I chat him up to the point where I would be able to?
I have a move for this.
Oh
What
shit!
could possibly go wrong?
Oh yes! What does that do?
Whenever I charge into immediate danger without hedging my bet, I can hold 2, and I can spend it to take +2 forward on an act under pressure.
Fuck yes! Roll to act under pressure, add cool, and then add 2 to it. Damn.
Roll 2d6. +2
Plus
is
2 is 12. Yeah, absolutely. Completely maximum full success. You kind of as you take the beer from his hands, he kind of like eyes you over, and you're like the most normal looking of the bunch. Like, everybody else looks like a highfalutin CEO that is actively trying to not get dirty.
Shirt and jeans.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think after he kind of eyes you over a little bit, you can kind of see the tension in his shoulders relax a little bit, and that kind of enmity is gone, and you feel like he's perhaps a little bit more open to a discussion.
So I can just ask him a question, and the question would probably be like, I just look around the pub and be like, looks like you sprucened up the bunch a little bit. Where did you manage to get the funds from?
Oh yeah, that was well, you know, we got some good folks in here. I like to make the place a little bit nicer for them. Just you know, the more we spread it around, the more we all succeed. So yeah, you know, I got a little bit of money from here and there, and you know, Haroon didn't hurt. He helped a little bit. He was a great patron. Bought a lot of beer. Were you interested in investing or something?
No, I was more interested in how you came across Peru.
Oh well, I mean, he just kind of, you know, we tend to attract the kind of more gentler folk, people who aren't so kind of obsessed with the wheel, as it were, and you know, they attract a certain kind of person, and Haroon was that certain kind of person. He came in and he made us all feel good, told us we were all worth it, and told us, you know, we didn't need to try so hard at improving our lot in life. He said he had the power to help make things better. And I mean, his religion sounded a little bit weird to me, but you know, he said it was for the betterment of everybody. So he just kind of showed up every now and then. I bought a bunch of beer, and then, well, I mean, between you and me, 2 nights ago, he made a really sizable investment in the pub, and you know, I kind of spread that around. I spent a little bit on the pub itself, and I've been handing out a little bit of extra, making ends meet money to some of the, you know, worse off folk.
sounds to me like he was trying to like leave town or something.
Well, he said he was going to leave for a little bit. I mean, there's no way he left town, but he did say he was going to, you know, stop coming for a little while. That's why he kind of left his sign here. But he said he's coming back. He said he's coming back. Not going to spend all his money.
Yeah. And you don't know when
Well,
he might be coming?
It's got to be soon, right? I mean, doesn't do us any good if he just leaves forever. I mean, or, you know, like 10 years or something. I assume he's got to be back in time, right?
I nod and like tap on the table and like leave him a few like banknotes. And they like,
okay, yeah.
Thanks, patron. And I move back to.
Yep.
And I basically let the group know that Haroon might come back or might not come back. That we might have something of a.
Well, I think we've got everything we need here from my perspective. Do you guys want anything else? Billy, you got any more of those pies?
Sure do. And you gentler folk, I just want you to know we got genuine, whatever space chickens are called, protein. And then we got ourselves a long-term space safe, you know, animal-friendly protein substitute.
Hey, yeah. I'm so glad you got non-animal murdering food. Yeah.
I'll just start handing out pies. I don't know which or which. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give
No.
Man, this one tastes like it's real meat. That's incredible.
Man,
RCP's the best.
It is the best.
Okay. Where are you guys headed to next?
Did we want to interview the guard outside or at the city gate?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he can basically be waiting wherever you guys would like to go meet him. It could be at the guardhouse. It can be at a VIP room in the police station. It can be inside Andreas Williams's security core, building. Kind of where. Think of a secure location you guys would like, and it can be there.
Oh, could it be one of the hidden floors in one of my buildings?
Oh, that's fucking perfect. Yeah, so it's always a struggle to get Valentin to make those extra floors because he gets so confused.
Valentin.
He always just wants to either make it a full floor or make it just skip it. But yeah, no, you go to one of your old buildings. I think he even said one. I don't remember what it was. And you guys go there, and yeah, he was brought to the hidden in-between floor, the floor 13.5. And I will say he is sitting on a chair, and the look on his face is one that he was told that he has to sit on that chair or punishment time.
Well, kid, what's your name?
My name's Gary, and I'm 86 years old.
You're the kid in this situation. Authority kid. As me pointing at us and then pointing at him when I said kid.
You got it. I'm the kid. What can I do for you?
We understand you had a strange encounter the other day at the North Gate.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, Nathaniel?
Yeah.
Could you bring up that very interesting video you found earlier and share it with our friend here?
I think that was Andreas' video.
That was Andreas's video. Sorry.
Yeah. Let's see here. 21, 36, 44. There we go.
That doesn't look like me. No, that's not me. That's someone else. I can't believe someone would let him go past the city limits, though. That seems like a big breach of safety. I would never do that.
Nathaniel?
Yes.
Can you see if this gentleman has accepted any large sums of money recently?
Oh yeah, hold on. And I reach to my like little earbud in my ear and be like, Edna, can you do some research for me? So that's probably rolling investigation.
Yeah, I think so. I can't think of anything else that's even better. I think that's the best one is kind of an investigation into this guy's histories, which is a plus sharp. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, mixed success. Yeah, you can ask one question. So the question is, has he accepted a large sum of money lately?
Yes.
I will say that what you see, you do not see a large sum of money that's come recently. But what you do see is a smallish amount of money that's coming from an anonymous location for the past month that adds up to a relatively large sum.
I got small amounts of money over here, Bob. Nothing really like incriminating. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's my poker winnings. I play poker every now and then. Yep. I'm really good. I win a lot. I won a little bit, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is that it?
Tell me who you work for. What's the name of the security firm you work with?
Well, I don't know if I'm at liberty to say.
Does he have a badge on? Or a uniform?
Yeah, he's got a badge that says Dilla Security.
Well.
And like as your eyes go to it, he recognizes that you're looking at it and he holds up a hand to like kind of block it. That's top secret information.
Then I pull up my Omni phone and it's just like look up I know it's a competitor, but like I want to just get like the general information on the company.
And it's hard to get information on that company. It is very cloak and dagger.
Gotcha. So it's legitimate. All right. That's all. That speaks volumes. That's all I need.
Well, guess I'll just be moseying on then.
Well, before you do that, so if it wasn't you, would you happen to know who it may have been? Who was on that shift? Because I'm sure we could cross-reference, who was supposed to be on duty there. I'm just saying that they're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, no, it was totally, it was supposed to be me, but I was sick. I'm still sick. I'm still sick. And that was Mac covering for me. Definitely Mac.
Who?
Mac, Dono.
Macadono.
Yeah, Macadono. He's a new hire. There's probably no paperwork on him yet, but it was definitely him kind of covering for me.
Okay. Do I know if I can actually get that information? Just basic who was supposed to be on duty information, like maybe that the police would have access to.
This, like, everything says that it was this guy. Like, and it looks like him in the video. It really seems like he's just bullshitting you guys.
All right. So I'm going to essentially, I think this is going to be what is it, like, to intimidate him.
Yeah, okay, let's do plus charm to kind of manipulate, and the manipulation will be like an intimidate.
I'd like to help with that.
Okay, yeah, sure. So yeah, roll Andreas, roll to manipulate someone.
Plus charm, right?
Plus charm, yep. Oh, okay, that's already a full success. But I guess, Billy, you can help for flavor anyways.
Yeah, I have like a linen suit jacket. I'm gonna take that off, and then I have like a sweater vest under that. I'm gonna take that off and just sort of like fold them over whatever nearby, and just put them on the floor. I don't know where we are.
Yeah,
like a big ass open space with it.
Yeah, just a big old empty half a floor.
Okay, and I'll just stand behind him and just start rolling up my sleeves.
Oh God. Okay, yep. That's a terrifying image.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Andreas.
Have you ever seen 30 Rock? You remember Hank Hooper, the like big goofy CEO?
Oh yes.
Yep.
That's 100% what this dude looks like.
I 100% see that now. Nice.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay, Andreas, intimidate him.
All right. So, what was your first name again?
Gary.
Gary. Okay, Gary. Oh, have a bit of a family, I see. 2 granddaughters, a grandson, 1 daughter.
Yep.
You're 80. Huh.
Yeah, I'm 86.
Yeah. Doing it all for them, huh?
Of course, I love those little rascals.
Tell me, do you have a wife?
Yeah, of course. Old lady Culpo, my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem like a name, but it is.
Yeah, but according to your record, it doesn't. I don't see one here, but.
What are you talking about?
Well, you've told me everything you've told me. Like you have a wife, you have 2 granddaughters. I don't see them here.
What are you
talking? Nowhere on your record.
What are you talking about? They're flesh and blood. I just saw them the other week.
The other week. So, this is what it sounds like when you tell the truth, huh? I see.
What are you getting
Let
at?
me be painfully clear with you here, Gary. If you don't start telling me the truth, I'm going to make the lie I just told you a very real and quick reality.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. That was me. And a crazy man came up to the border and he kind of, pushed his way past.
Doesn't look like he pushed.
In fact, according to the records that Nathaniel pulled, that you've been receiving quite a bit of small poker winnings, as you put it.
Yeah. Well, they were just kind of showing up. I didn't know who they were from, but I can use the extra money.
Which granddaughter is your favorite? I think I'll have her put in house.
Okay. All right. First. Okay. Listen, I didn't know where the money was coming from. And then old Mr. Crazy shows up at the border, tells me it's him who's been giving me the money, and that he wants to go north of the line. And I told him that's crazy. Nobody goes past the line. And he said that he was, what did he say? Like, impervious to the taint of evil, and that he would not be beset upon north of the line. And
you said taint.
Well, that's what he, that is one of them young folk jokes, I guess. But, yeah, no, and then he went, I didn't have any legal grounds to hold him back, on account of, me accepting all his money.
Well, you did have legal grounds. No one goes past the line. No one goes past the line.
But if he had told people that I was taking his money, I could have lost my job. But if he's north of the line, he's dead. He is dead. He can't tell nobody. Now I get the money and he's gone.
But we know.
He's got to be. Nobody goes beyond the line and lives.
Tell you what. I believe you. Now, did he say anything about where he was going? How far north he was going?
Well, he said he was going into the forest, which is why I'm damn sure he's dead.
All right. Well, does anyone else have any questions for our good friend here?
Did he say why he was going? Did you answer that?
He said he was he said he was gonna get ready to come back, which, I mean, he was saying a lot of crazy stuff, so I just kind of let him go.
All right.
So we're gonna follow him on out there, right?
I'm ready to go.
Oh, you guys can't go. No, you guys can't go. You guys can't go past the line. That's very illegal.
Greg, Gertrude, what was your name?
Gary. I'm 86.
Gregory.
Yeah, well, Gary. Yeah, but yeah.
You got shift tonight there, Gregory?
Technically, yeah.
All right. So I think we're gonna head on out there tonight. You're gonna get your buddy to walk away. You're gonna let us cross that line.
And I'll lose my job if I let you folks do that.
If you don't, I'll grind your family into pies. So come on now, sport. You pick what you want to do. We'll show up. You do your part. I'm gonna get close to him and just have a big old like goofy smile. I'm just gonna hit him in the mouth.
Oh shit! All right, roll to kick some ass. Let's see how good you hit him.
This is how we straighten things out on the ranch, son.
So that is plus tough.
Oh, human tough though. Nothing.
I mean, you could roll at advantage technically since he's sitting down. So you can roll. Yeah, it's a sucker punch, so you can roll it twice. Okay, yeah. So I think this works really well because you kind of deal harm to each other, and I think, how much harm do you do as a human with an unarmed attack? I don't
even know.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a stat for that. I can only imagine it would be like 1.
Yeah, guns and golf clubs might do 2. So I imagine 1 is probably fine.
Yeah. Okay. So it doesn't. We're gonna fudge the reality a bit because you do 1 harm to him as you just kind of like crack him across the jaw, and you take 1 harm as well as your very human hand gets, the rough end of his hard face as well. And then narratively, he definitely looks worse off, even though you both took 1 harm. All right. Oh my God, that doesn't seem to work all that well anymore. But I'll let you through the gate tonight.
See you there, champ. Now let's give him a quick hug and then go back to the jacket.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Billy's growing on me.
Okay. I think in the interest of time, we're just gonna kind of fast forward.
That's kind of why I pulled that card. I was like,
We're gonna fast forward to nighttime, and you guys can make your way to the northern gate post, where as you begin approaching, you see old 86-year-old Gary kind of like tap on his buddy's shoulder and point in a direction, and the guy kind of like grabs his assault rifle and sprints out of the room and goes running in the opposite, like runs directly to the left. As you guys are walking towards the gate, you kind of see the gate in front of you, and then it keeps on going further in front, and Gary's in the right-hand post, and his buddy's in the left-hand post. Gary goes from the right-hand post over to the left-hand side, points further to the left, and his buddy grabs his assault rifle and just takes off to the left. And now it's just Gary there.
Wait, so is he like opening the gate?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Like his buddy bolted way out of line of sight, off to the left. He's going to explore a security breach in another sector.
Gotcha.
I just have the broken like rally sign or whatever, the fishing sign or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I'll just walk over to Greg. I'll hand him like a coupon book, and then just pat him on the shoulder and just walk on by.
Great. Some of these pies are soft, right? I don't know if I can eat solid food again. No? Okay.
Just keep on going.
I think the best thing we can do in that situation is just let Billy do his thing and just walk past.
I don't see anything. I don't know anything.
Drinking water.
God. So you guys make your way past the gate, and maybe 100 yards away you can see this big thick red line painted on the ground. And as you guys approach it, you realize none of you have been beyond the line before. And in the ageless words of Samwise Gamgee, if you take one more step, it'll be the furthest from home that you've ever been. Would you guys like to continue beyond the line?
That looks foreboding.
What could possibly go wrong?
Okay, so you guys start. I guess, are you guys walking, or are you guys in cars, or how did you guys approach this? How are you guys traveling along the road?
Oh, I guess I don't know how far it is. I imagined it was on foot because I just walked by and like gave the dude the coupon.
Yeah, and we were looking for scorch marks on the ground to try and find them.
Yep.
Maybe harder to do in a fast-moving vehicle.
Yep. Okay. So I think the way this works is you guys are walking along the road because you saw Haroon walking, so you figured, how far could he have gone by foot? And you're not seeing these scorch marks that you were told to look for. You're just kind of walking and walking. It's this very smooth, very well kept pavement of this road with low barriers on the left and right hand side. Absolutely no traffic whatsoever. And as you start to get further and further away from the city, all the city noises die down, and the road is kind of raised up as you realize that you're surrounded by this stinking, festering bog in all directions around the road. And it's like the muck kind of soaks up some of the sound, and so it is freakishly quiet. Like, you can't hear your footsteps echoing, really. It's so quiet here.
As soon as we're far enough.
Yeah.
Is it daylight? Is it dark?
It's dark. This is night shift.
Hell yes. Okay, so as soon as I think we're far enough away,
yep,
I'm gonna transform.
Yep.
And just start like sniffing the sign and like rubbing it on my gums and kind of like rolling around with it and shit.
Yep. And I guess you would like to investigate a mystery using your like monster sense, so you get like a +1 to the investigation.
What stat is investigate mystery?
It is plus sharp.
Okay. Yeah.
Good lord. Okay. With a 13, you get a big ol' wharf of Haroon. And it smells like
Patchouli.
patchouli. It smells like patchouli and frankincense.
Nice.
And then you kind of, you've got that locked and loaded in the brain. And then you kind of start smelling around and you pick up the trail easily.
Where did it go?
Yeah. It's like fucking Witcher 3 stink lines. You can just fucking see it. And it just kind of keeps on going down the road. And you kind of follow this. I imagine Billy's kind of leading the pack by just following these stink lines. And it's just going down the road and down the road until you don't need Billy's smell anymore, because you see so the road starts to curve off to the right. And in the low barrier, there is a hole burned through the barrier.
Ah, scorch marks.
It looks pretty well scorched, and it reeks of Haroon. And as you look through the blasted hole, you can see that it kind of leads off. The bog and the mire has kind of ended, and there's a little bit of dry ground, and then it leads into the forest.
I want to look at the tracks where the big hole is blasted through.
Yeah.
Is it still human feet at that point?
Yes, it is.
Then I guess as soon as people don't need me for the trail anymore, one of my eyes will stay with the group, and then sort of the rest of me will sort of just disappear into wherever dark is.
Yeah. And would you guys like to enter the forest?
Yeah.
I think so. Yes. Hey, are you all okay if I transform? It's gonna be pretty obvious. It'll be pretty bright. So bad for stealth, but good for my sense of security.
I would say be careful with that, because apparently this guy has a way to take that away from you.
Oh, you're right. Jacqueline, can I just hide behind you?
Yeah, sure. She hulks out.
All right.
The one floating yellow eye appreciatively nods.
I try to pick a specific limb to hide behind, but you keep moving, and there's so many limbs.
And as you guys enter the forest, I think, again, in the interest of time, I think the way this works, we're going to skip past a little bit of stuff. And you guys are going through the forest, and every now and then you see... Wait, did I have forest music? Forest. No, I didn't. Perfect. As you guys are traversing through the forest, every now and then you see it. Okay, so the forest itself is extremely dark, and the trees are quite tall. All of the canopies overlap so that you cannot see the sky. The tree trunks are massive, 2 or 3 meters in diameter. Huge trees. And a hint at one of the encounters that you're not going to be hearing. Oh, no, you will hear, but you won't encounter.
Uh-oh.
You actually hear this.
What? Are you all hearing this?
Is that Christmas music?
And as you traverse through the forest, you can see something. Just in this mist that seems to hang everywhere, you see humanoid figures. And they're watching you and circling around you. And they are dressed in diamond patterned colorful outfits, almost like clowns or mimes. And they're keeping their distance, but they're watching you all the time.
No, thank you.
And then you just kind of go past them and nothing happens.
Yes.
However, what does happen is you see every now and then on one of these trees is a giant scorch mark. And when you see the scorches, the fire, it's not red. It's like gold. It's like a golden flame.
Mm-hmm.
And as you keep going, every now and then you see a creature and you all stop for a second as you realize you've come across one of the monstrosities that live beyond the line. But it doesn't move as you approach it. And the closer you get, the more you realize that it's petrified charcoal in the shape of the creature that it used to be. And if you touch it, it just kind of falls into ash. And every now and then you see one of these. Sometimes you see them blasted up against a tree. And then I need to get the volume right and the music right. Volume needs to be 60. And then we skip. We skip.
Hippie Gandalf.
Yeah.
You guys come to a clearing in the middle of the forest. And oh my god, that's so loud. You come to a clearing. It's like a perfect circle in the middle of the forest where all the trees are just not there. It doesn't look like they were cut down or anything. They're just not there. And in their place is an enormous golden temple. It has an almost Aztec kind of appearance. Tiered stairs, glyphs and symbols all over it. And there's some sort of a cubic structure on the top of it. And as you approach the edge of the kind of tree line, you can see a figure up at the top of the temple. And from here, you can tell that it is Haroon. It's a man with long, pure white hair down past his hip. He has a clean-shaven, soft face, and he has a tiara on his head and this long, flowing white robe. In his right hand is that stick, but there's a big, opaque white orb on the top of it now. And there's another individual at the top of the tower too. It's some sort of a monster. It looks almost like some sort of an octopus person. Like they have 8 weird floppy arms with opposable thumb hands at the end of each of the fucking arms.
Oh no.
And they're reaching for Haroon, but they're held back by some sort of an invisible force. And Haroon is shouting. He's pacing back and forth. And he's shouting in anger. You can't make out the words, but he's angrily shouting at whatever this creature is. And then, kind of as his shouting intensifies, he rolls up the sleeve on his right arm that's holding the staff. And as he does, you can see his flesh begin to change. It becomes black and hairy and spiky and scaly, and it grows in size. And now you can hear he's shouting in rage as he swings the staff like to cast a spell. But nothing happens. Then you see Haroon stop, and he puts a hand on his forehead, and he stops pacing, and he stops shouting. Then you see that black flesh disappear from his arm. He calmly lifts the staff up and tips it forwards. And you see the octopus creature blasted and evaporated from the top of the temple. Then Haroon turns and walks out of line of sight at the top of the temple towards that kind of cubic structure. And you faintly hear the clang of a heavy door.
I mean, do we just walk right up?
I'm gonna send one of my eyeballs up there to peek.
Be careful. We just saw it evaporated beast.
Yeah, keep it half lidded for sure.
You want to send an eyeball out?
So just sort of like, I don't know if there's like stairs, if it's like a ziggurat situation.
Yeah.
But I just want to get somewhere where I can sort of fucking Aya Kilrog this shit to get line of sight on whatever that door was. See where he went.
Yep, absolutely. There are stairs, kind of, ziggurat-esque. And you go up the stairs and you notice there are these like dragon statue heads on each tier pointing in towards the stairs themselves. And I guess because your eyeball is super perceptive and we're kind of short on time, you see there are like poison arrow darts in all of the dragon head statues to shoot at people on the stairs. And then when you get up to the top, you see a big heavy door on the front of that cubic structure. And the door is extremely complex. It has glyphs, symbols, sockets, and all manner of gears on it. And no obvious sign to open it.
And we can glean this is where he just went and then we heard it close.
That's right.
I'll just sort of do like a low holding pattern. I don't think it can fucking fly, but it can get off the ground a little bit. And just like go around it and see if there's any other way in or out of this thing aside from this big door.
Yeah, no, it looks like that door is the one and only way in and out.
Gotcha. So, like, the right half of my body will just appear back with the group and... You're up, folks. This looks fucking complicated.
Did you try saying friend?
Pello. Nope.
Nope.
That was worth a shot.
Oh, it was Mel.
Quick question. From all the interviews that we were doing while trying to get this information, what was the one thing that he kept repeating in his sermons?
The word that was most often uttered was I guess
heart or something like that.
Probably together. Did you guys ascend the staircase? Like, are you guys all at the door?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it.
Okay, then I will say that to the left of the door is a bench with 3 objects on it. A hand mirror with the label Magic Mirror, a wand with the label Fireball, and a book labeled Clever Door Puzzles for the Aspiring Wizard.
I open the book.
Billy, were you about to do something else?
I was gonna ask if I could just like intentionally set off all the dragon dart things just for fun while they deal with the door.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's just kind of hop on all the things. They're like pop, 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 just pumping out poison darts, no problem. You want to look in the book?
Regret it because we're short on time. I'm going for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the book talks about how puzzles should be obvious enough that extremely clever people never think of it, but complex enough that a brute can't bypass it. Manners are what separate a true master wizard from a brutish sorcerer or warlock.
Brutish warlock. What were the other 2 objects again? Sorry.
Hand mirror labeled Magic Mirror and a wand labeled Fireball.
Are there any symbols on the door that might?
There are a lot of symbols on the door.
Do any of them speak to those 2 objects?
Yeah, there's like 14 different images of mirrors and like 32 images of fire and fireballs.
How about the symbols relate to the book? Like, is there like a?
Yeah, there's like 10 pictures of a book.
The book said something about like being polite enough at the end of it. What was that again?
That's true manners.
It says that manners are what separate true master wizard from a brutish sorcerer or warlock.
Okay, I guess I'm just gonna go up to the door and ask it to open, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That's basically close enough to the answer that it just fucking opens. That's super duper, like, so fucking close that yes, it just fucking opens up. All the complicated symbols and gears and stuff start turning, and the door just opens up.
I also pick up the wand and just pocket it.
Smart.
Oh, fuck! Damn it! Never give the party weapons.
Actually, yeah, take that mirror too.
All right, fine. Damn it.
The mirror is shiny.
I'll
I
be
think
like, yoink. Mine now.
Okay. So, you guys get inside, and there's a small flight of stairs that lead kind of back down when you're in there into a large chamber. And you see, without a doubt, Haroon standing there. You see a man clad in heavy white robes holding a large golden staff with a white orb on top of it. This is Haroon.
Sneaky time.
And he has his back turned to you, and he's got like a small altar in front of him, and his arms are stretched up, and he does not see you.
I'm going to, like, before we get down there, I want to, if you can't take him out, aim for the white orb. It seems to be the focus.
Yeah, the yellow eyes like split, and I'm just gonna sort of use that as like the in-fiction key for me trying to like disappear into the shadows.
Yep.
How does the room look? Does it look trappy like the dragon heads?
It looks very clear of traps. You get the feeling that everything was set to prevent you from getting in here, but once you're in here, you are accepted.
Should we just try talking to him? Maybe it'll be fine. Oh, right, we're supposed to kill him. I forgot the whole mission.
After you.
Oh, one small note. As soon as you pass through that door, you are no longer monstrous.
Vida tries to transform, and it just sputters.
Oh, fuck!
No. Oh, yeah, your eyeball.
So, like, I'm split between my two eyeballs, and, like, as I'm trying to stealth into the room, and then I just appear as, like, a fucking fat dude in a sweater vest.
Yes, exactly.
With one eyeball.
The other one come back. I don't know which side I appear on. I don't know which eye is the dominant eye, but...
Yeah.
Actually, I want to try oops here.
Okay.
Ooh.
Smart.
If you want to stumble across something important, tell the keeper. You will find something important and useful, although may not necessarily be related to the immediate situation. So that's up to the.
Oh man, that's so tough. Oh, what the? Oops, something important. Fuck. Okay, we're short on time, so it's gonna be ham-fisted. You're kind of like looking around. You notice that you've all turned back into humans, and then you notice like a small business card on the ground, and it's for anger management classes.
Shit. I mean, if I turned back into a dude in the room, I have a strong like. Does he know we're there now?
You don't know. He hasn't reacted, but the door was also not quiet.
We have to make him angry. That's what makes him transform. If he loses control, he'll just be a monster.
Okay.
I think that's how he that's how he stays in his human form. It's going to take a lot, so you're going to have to be witty as fuck.
Oh no.
I'm just gonna pull out my space gun.
Okay.
That's a start. Go for it.
I'll gladly let anyone else do something. Otherwise, I'm gonna try and shoot the globe on the staff.
I had brought little Dobbies from town on the way.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna yell at him. I'm gonna get his attention. Are you guys okay with that?
I kind of look at Nathaniel. I was like, this seems like your wheelhouse too, buddy.
All right.
I'm just thinking at this point.
Yeah, fair.
Like, part of me wants to give the wand to Jackie and be like, and like slightly nudge her forward.
The shooter.
Be like, we can't transform, but we have a magic fireball wand. Why not use it?
Yeah, let's do that.
She like kind of tilts her sunglasses down at you and gives you like a what? What the fuck is this?
Wait. He seems weak in his human form. So if we off him in this form, we might not have to have like a long fight as well.
Oh, there we go.
And he still hasn't turned to us?
No.
That's right.
Just stage whispering in the corner of there.
So like I'm way off on the side when I transform back. I just like turn around and look at you guys and shrug. And I have like my gun pointed at the guy and I'm like waving my gun at him, like looking at the rest of the group.
I'll like wave the wand. That's kind of like
rifle out.
Yeah.
I hold up my hands in a 1, 2, 3 fire motion. At the same time, maybe both.
Can I position to be on like the opposite side of where
Oh,
Billy
hell
is?
yeah. Yeah,
On
absolutely.
the other side of the room?
Yeah. Pincer attack.
So yeah, I'm gonna back up a little bit from where we entered, take a rifle out, and just kind of get into a prone position, ready for that.
I do the same in the other corner with that small handgun.
So as soon as Vida gives me a 1, I'm gonna do what could go wrong, and don't worry, I'll check it out. And I'm just gonna shoot first and see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh dang!
What are you aiming for?
The globe on the stick.
All right.
Okay. So let's get a little bit of okay, holy shit. So Billy, you are shooting first, right?
Just so I can use my like stupid abilities to get a plus.
And what does it do?
Whenever you are the first to charge in without hedging your bets, the same thing you used before. Hold 2. You can use them to either inflict extra harm, reduce someone else's harm, or take forward under pressure.
Okay, then I will say, so you wanna kick some ass on his orb?
Yeah, boy.
All right, kick some ass with your big beefy bonus.
What the fuck? Oh, tough is plus 0. Why are you making us fight as people? Cock ass!
I think he needs help.
I think so too.
I think he needs the fireball to help.
Jackie, would you like to fire the fireball at the same time? Yes.
I would like to fireball.
Yes. All right.
Or attempt to.
So this is going to be a roll to help out, basically, and then both of your things will work. So roll plus cool.
That's a whopping 0 modifier.
That's a 10 there.
I can't double down on helping out, right?
No, but
yeah,
I'll use luck. Fuck it,
Okay.
I forgot those existed.
All right. Okay. So the way this works then is you guys have now activated the combat sequence.
Yeah, I shoot once and daggum space pistol, and I like sort of discharge it using luck and fire.
And this fucking bullet hits the orb, and there's immediately a giant crack in the big white orb, but it does not explode until Jackie's fireball just rips out of the wand that was supposed to be part of the puzzle solution. And instead, it just detonates that crack in the orb and his staff explodes in his hands. And now you have his attention.
I transform now.
Oh my god, this is so loud. It's so loud.
It's good.
And he turns and is immediately enraged. He turns and he says, well, I was going to greet you strangers and ask if you were from the Tribune or not, but I guess fuck that. You literally just destroyed my entire fucking staff, so I guess now we're gonna fight. And he loses his human form. He kind of falls over forwards, and as he's falling forwards, his arms extend and stop him from hitting the ground. They grow huge and black, and his face grows these enormous tusks and almost becomes a little bit pig-like as he grows an enormous mane of black fur and becomes almost this quadrupedic kind of monstrosity. And he just charges at you guys. And I think at this point, we're going to do a little bit of combat. Andreas, you are now free to transform whenever you would like. And it is your turn.
All right. I transform and I try to use mental domination on it.
Oh shit, yes. Roll for mental domination.
I'm using luck.
Okay, I mean, that's what it's there for. Absolutely. So you can give him 2 commands, I believe.
I tell him to halt.
Okay.
And lay prone.
Okay. He's just charging straight at Jackie where the fireball came from. And then all of a sudden he just freezes and then lays down. He's just snorting steam, absolutely furious, but is laying prone. Next, Jackie, it is your turn. The Ganon of monstrosities is laying down in front of you, and it looks like it's just about to snap out of its fucking daze and attack you.
Oh shit. Can I transform into my monster self?
Hell yes, you can.
It's bat time.
It's bat time. What would you like to do as the werebat?
Am I close enough to like chomp at him?
Oh, you fucking bet you are. You want to bite that boy?
Man, I'm chomping at the bits.
All right. Roll to kick some ass. That's roll plus tough.
Okay. And I think for my moves or whatever, I have Claw the Beast, so do I add +1?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Hell yes. Okay, so with a 9, you guys just deal damage to each other, but he's fucking paralyzed, basically. So he does not deal damage back to you. Instead, you just fucking bite. What were you biting for? What were you gonna get him? What were you gonna bite him?
I guess I'll go for the neck.
Hell yes. It's a big old thick neck, and it's like kind of covered in this black mangy mane of hair. But you kind of bite through, and you kind of just get a mouthful of hair. And so you bite deeper, and you find purchase. You get a gusher, and there is a lot of blood. How much damage do you do with a bite? I think it's like 3, and then you have an extra 1, so I think it's 4. Let's just call it 4. I have a feeling it's not going to matter all that much.
Oh, wait, the last roll that I did, was that not for... Wait.
That was just kick some ass, and then the damage is just basically if you've kicked their ass, they take the damage.
Okay, I think I did that wrong then. So is it To like attack, it would be tough, like 2d6 plus tough. Or...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, then let me roll that.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
You do have a resource called Luck, which makes any failed roll immediately a full success, and you can do that 7 times.
No, I'm just sure.
Yeah, right. I mean, why not? It's the final boss time. So I think with a full 12, you do an extra damage. So you you bite through. And you get all that hair, you bite through again, and you nick something serious, especially with a luck-assisted roll. And blood starts spraying everywhere. Nathaniel, it is your go.
I can transform, right?
You sure as hell can.
Okay. I transform and I roll to kick.
Yes! Roll me plus tough. Roll to kick some ass.
Oh, that's a good one.
Fuck yes. So that is as good as it gets. Flavor it up for me a little bit. How are you kicking Gannon Perun's ass?
I am kicking Perun's ass by life draining him, which is 1 harm in intimidate life drain, and I have the extra +1 add.
Fuck yes. Do you touch
and
him?
I just suck the life. I just suck the life out of him from the I just clasp my hand around his nose and I just suck the life.
Oh my god, yes. So I like to vision this by you just grabbing onto his nose, and that look in your eyes and that aura around you just kind of deepens and intensifies. And you see nothing but rage in this creature until the life starts draining out of it. And then you see fear, and it wants to get away, but it's still obeying that command of lay prone as this darkening aura becomes more and more intense as you drain how much health out of this thing?
It did 2? Yeah, 2 damage.
2 damage. And you get that damage, right? Like you drain that onto yourself?
Yes.
Yep. So I'm going to give you 2 armor.
Oh.
As basically that aura, that sinister aura kind of almost solidifies into an armor around you, made of his own life force. Next is Vida. What would you like to do, Vida?
Oh, Vida bursts into flames.
Yep.
Spontaneously combusts.
Yep.
And she would like to just kind of rip off. No, she would just like to hold her arm in the air, and then looks like she's throwing her own hand and try and throw a fireball at him.
Hell yes. Is this just kick some ass?
I would like to use it as use magic because there is an effect that is harm. Is that cool?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
I weirded better. Okay. That works, right?
Was that it? 10?
Yeah.
Oh. Holy fuck. Yes. So you just you throw this thing, which is basically like you throwing a flaming version of your hand, which explodes like a grenade on him and catches all of the hair on his body on fire as suddenly that kind of lay prone thing after all this damage goes away, and Haroon starts freaking out as it has now had a neck artery nicked, and it's currently on fire and had some of its just life force drained, and it is now thrashing about. How much damage do you do?
That's 2. 1 base and 1 extra.
Okay. All right. Next up is Billy. What's Billy up to here?
So I want to transform right away.
Yeah.
And one of my eyes is going to go up onto above his head and find that big tuft of hair that Jacqueline ripped out.
Yep.
And then the other half of me is just going to kind of disappear. And I need to ambush or attack from behind. So I'm going to wait until the next person attacks, and then I'll go when he's distracted.
Fuck yes. All right. I'm gonna say it lost its turn basically with the command given to lay prone. It basically and being on fire. So Andreas, we are back to you.
I very much want to maintain the hold because it seems like everyone's really benefiting from.
Okay, you want to like use mental dominion again?
Yes, I want to give everyone the opportunity to finish this thing off. I can't do damage, but I sure shit can hold them down.
All right, roll fucking dominate mind.
Let's see here. I need help.
If someone can roll to help out. Actually, you know what? Let's consider fucking Billy's roll the help out. So let's move that to a mixed success, and you can give him one command as Billy also attacks.
Prone.
Prone it is. So this thing starts to lay down the mental dominion is starting to take effect, but it's not really doing it. And Billy, you see this kind of moment of hesitation as Haroon is refusing to lay down. And that is your chance to attack, and you will get your ambush. So
gotcha. So like just the right half of the like where Fox's body, I run up his back and I find that hole where Jacqueline sort of like punched through the mane.
Yep. And
I want to sink my teeth into that, and then with the momentum kind of like throw myself feet over head and just sort of like twist all that chunk of collarbone off and just like hurl myself. And it doesn't matter. I'm going to use luck.
Yeah,
so.
right. It's going to be a 12 no matter what.
And I have to roll for the bonus damage on precision strike. So let me see.
Okay. And I mean, you could luck that too, honestly.
Well,
you don't got a fucking 12 anyway, so who the fuck cares?
So I do 3 harm, ignore armor.
Oh god.
Plus 2 when ambushed, and I rolled my precise strike, so it's another 2 harm.
Oh, no. God, that is 7 harm. That is enough to take a person from 100% health to dead in a single move. So I think you bite, and Jacqueline's neck hole that was made had nicked and exposed a vein, like a big old thick artery. And when you grabbed, you got neck muscle, you got a bit of bone, and you got the whole artery. And when you twist and use that momentum to kind of flip yourself over, it all comes out. There's a crunching of bone, there's a tearing of flesh, and that spurt becomes a gush, and Haroon is quickly exsanguinating.
That is fairly cruel, which is an issue, because my pure drive is cruelty.
Oh shit, it is unbelievably cruel. What the fuck does that do?
I need to act under pressure. It's like the
Oh,
one
that's
emotion
right.
that rules you.
Yes. All right, roll to act under pressure, which is plus cool.
That's plus cool.
I don't know if it helps or harms. I would actively be eating whatever I took off him.
-1.
Oh.
Oof.
Oh.
I have to cave in. I have to cave into the cruelty.
Okay. So I think at this point, this kind of like the Haroon is burning, and Billy comes flying off the neck, just tearing all sorts of gore out. And Haroon looks terrified. Like it looks almost like, you know, like a terrified creature. And this seems like such a cruel act to be picking apart this creature. And that witnessing of cruelty causes Nathaniel to absolutely lose it. And I think that golden sheen on the inside of this golden ziggurat darkens and the entire room becomes black as suddenly Nathaniel is uncontrollably draining all of the health from Haroon, and you see his monstrous form start to shrivel and start to just physically emaciate as all of Haroon's remaining health, as he's sitting there burning and bleeding, just disappears, and it just like dark crystal style shrivels up and falls over completely dead.
Wow.
He did.
Oh, Nathaniel, I didn't know you had it in you.
I have my moments.
And at that moment, kind of standing at the doorway, you see Mitra standing there with a staff. And she kind of doesn't quite enter the room, stands on the other side of the threshold just to be safe. And she says,
I knew you could do it. You five are quite special. I expected Haroon to be a bit more of a complication than that, but you are all quite formidable when you are working together. It's almost like Haroon was right. But of course he was wrong, and now he is dead. But thank you. The five of you have proven quite useful. You can consider your debts to the council paid.
Thank you very much.
Good.
and
I'm just eating whatever piece of him I pulled off.
yeah, I guess the piece you have is still pretty juicy. The rest of them's pretty dry.
Munch, munch.
And I think we're 15 minutes over, so I think that's basically where we wrap. The image of Mitra kind of fades away into nothingness, and the five of you are inside the ziggurat next to Haroon Jerky, and mission accomplished, favor repaid to the council.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Teamwork.
I wasn't expecting you guys to hit the city stuff so hard. That was fucking awesome. Man, you guys did some good investigating.
There was a lot of city stuff we could do, so it only made sense to go to the bar and then investigate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing I didn't think of at first was try the security cameras and the bank stuff.
Yeah. Fucking good stuff, man. Amazing use of like investigating the mystery as you went and gathering as much information as you could. The true solution to the door was to just knock.
I was thinking
My-
that. Oh my god.
Right?
My original idea for the door was just to pick up the magic wand, shove it in Jackie's hands, and be like, fire at.
Go. The way I had originally designed it was that there was a warm spot on the door where Haroon would knock on it to make it open, and the magic mirror would show a warm spot on the middle of the door, and the brute would use a fireball to try to make that spot hot and open it, but that would never work. And then it was when you realized that it was a warm spot, that it was maybe a handprint that you would just knock. But we were way over time. But that was very, very cool. Thank you guys so much. And
I like this a lot.
It's so much fun.
You both did really good for your first time.
Yeah, right?
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
boys.
Thank you for joining us.
Fucking amazing fun. Apologies for it being so narrative heavy. I had a lot of story to tell, but I hope you guys still had fun.
Thanks for the invite.
I'm so proud of you folks.
I was so incredibly nervous. Your descriptions were so short. I'm like, oh god, what are words?
I had no idea what I was going to describe going in because I've never done this before. Not even in a regular D&D.
Yeah.
One shot or anything. So I was just going in blind and being like improv everything.
That's a fun way to do it, honestly. It can be nerve-wracking, but says the guy controlling the Bert the Bees arc.
Did you guys see the notes for that entire session? It was like 2 sentences.
Yeah.
Nice.
The one thing I'm sad about is that I didn't manage to yell at Edna for a protocol. Bring in all of the murderbot bank machines that have machine guns in their arms.
Yeah, yeah.
Man. We're gonna need a sequel.
I know.
Right.
I think that's just it. We'll need to do another one shot. I ain't done with
This was
red ink
fun.
stuff, so.
Hell yeah.
That means we can take 1 experience.
Oh shit! That's right. You guys can take 1 experience. And actually take experience for every time you fail to roll, take another experience. So your characters may have leveled
I'll
up.
have to go back.
Yeah. If you want, we can just call it a level for everyone.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, who cares? Who's we're not gonna rule Nazi this. So okay, guys, I'm gonna say goodnight to chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out.
Thanks
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Good night.